is now fixed, and Anna, we were looking at or trying to look at Leila's game in the women's event, Leila Yavakishvili against Zhu Jiner. So let's see if we can pull that game up. Here we are.
Oh, yeah, you have it, and I don't know if it was heard or not, but I said that it's a very interesting position in this game, bishop d2 being the last move. And look at that, white is a pawn down, but there is no dark square bishop, so black skin is in some danger. Though there is a possibility of knight f3 move.
Is she preparing to sacrifice her queen?
I think she is. She doesn't have any other options. She will take this one.
And now we need to think. We need to think.
There is bishop c3, bishop e2.
Yes.
Maybe bishop e2, queen f5, the only move.
Looks like the only
now
square.
Rook e5 is possible.
Nice move.
And take the knight, or maybe there is even something better.
This looks like it should be winning for white, doesn't it? This should be winning for white, so maybe black can't go into this.
What can black do?
Yeah.
Bishop takes h3. I just try.
Bishop takes h3. Look at that move, leaving the queen now.
If white takes, now we play knight f3 and our rook is protected. So I think white needs to take on e4. We take back. Then the queen moves somewhere and we take something.
Queen moves somewhere and we take something. Here, there's a nice checkmate, for example, if queen b4 or other moves, then black can checkmate in 2, right? If queen
she
b4.
actually took on h3.
Knight f3 check. Do you want to show that, Anna? If queen b4.
Sorry.
At the end.
Queen to b4, yeah.
Then, of course, knight f3 check.
Okay.
King and checkmate. There we go. Anyway, she has made a move, Zhu Jiner. Bishop takes h3. Wow. Astonishing.
No, I don't see any other options. But what a game.
Has she played it?
Yeah, she played bishop h3. I saw it on the camera.
Oh, I see.
So I think rook should, white should take, knight takes.
Does white have to take, Anna?
Yeah, I don't see any other move.
So the black's rooks are now connected. So the point is that if bishop takes h3, then knight f3 check. Works. The rook on a8 defends the rook on e8. Very important.
Yeah, it just wins.
So we're looking at rook takes queen. If bishop takes h3, Anna here.
I guess knight takes, bishop takes.
How would this be? What do we think about this? So white has the bishop pair, 2 bishops for a rook and 2 pawns. This could happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, of course. Maybe rook d8. a8.
Maybe rook d8. It's possible, yes, and then picking up the knights on d1.
Because I believe that in this position it's good for black to try to trade one pair of rooks.
Let's have a quick look. Rook a d8. Forcing an exchange of rooks. Yeah.
I think white should take, because if white takes on e5, rook d6, bishop d6, rook e1, then
check.
taking on c1, and it's better for white to have the bishop on e5 rather than on d6. As from e5, it's protecting the b2 pawn.
Okay, so rook takes.
Takes,
check. King up.
I don't know.
King g2, let's say.
Maybe bishop f1 and king g2. Harika ended her game with Elizabeth, and we see a draw in that game.
Right, okay. Well, that was really the most that Elizabeth could achieve from that position. So
yeah, I think
she did well. She held. Good result for her. Obviously, a win was what she would have liked at the start of the game, but from that position, a draw was really the best that she could hope for, which she's achieved. So keeps her among the top ranked players here. And we're looking at Leila.
Yeah, she took the queen. Knight takes rook.
Very sharp middle game here.
I like this game.
Yeah, it's a great
How
game.
did they enter all these complications? So, here is the moment where black sacrifices a pawn first.
Okay.
Queen b6.
Oh, so she played a4 and queen a5, right?
Yeah, here a3, queen to c4, knight c1, and she took on c3.
Wow.
Bishop f1, queen e4, queen c3, knight e5, bishop d2, bishop a3.
A tremendous game of chess, this one. Really fantastic. Knight takes e4, queen attacked, rook attacked. Some of those moves for the queen allow checkmate after knight f3 check. We said maybe bishop takes h3 here and just give back the queen. Anything else Anna she could do here? Is a move like queen e3 possible or not? What would happen? Queen e3? Queen e3, is it possible or not?
I'm thinking.
I know, you're thinking that. Let's have a look. Queen e3.
There is knight g4, there is knight d6, bishop f1.
It's it's
Knight
certainly
d2.
complicated. Actually, Eugenia is down to about 10 minutes, and Leila still has more or less half an hour on her clock. Very complex game.
Okay, the simplest is to take on d6. If white takes on h3, I play knight c4, then I take on d2
And you recover the
knight
piece.
f3.
Yes.
And it looks good for black.
I think you're absolutely right. Yes.
So maybe white should play bishop h3 and then go for this endgame.
Which we saw before, yeah.
Yeah, which I think is more or less equal, because a bishop pair against two bishops against a rook and two pawns.
All right. Anna, maybe we should drop back in on the open games, the top open games. Quite a lot has happened, I believe, in Maxim's game against Fabi, and also David Howell. We come to him as well against Alireza.
They already reached an endgame.
Wow. Just very quickly take us through the moves from this position, which we more or less saw.
Takes, queen to b3, rook e1, queen d3, queen takes e7.
Big exchanges.
And now white won a pawn.
White is a pawn up, indeed.
After f6, this is the current position, but the drawing chances are
Very high.
yeah. I don't know, rook e6 or bring the rook back, because if you play rook e7, there is rook d8.
Rook d8 simply wins the pawn.
So, but rook e6 doesn't help much, I think. This just...
Check.
Yeah, and no, I mean to f8. And then after rook
This should be a draw,
e7,
shouldn't
just
it? Check and
and
rook d2.
rook d2, and it's a draw.
Right.
So, but
Fabiano
rook
looks
e2.
seems to be quite relaxed there, walking.
Okay, it's very
Across the
close
board
to
there.
a draw. Yeah, rook d8, rook d2, then bring
Bring
the
the
king,
king.
to d6, activate the rook. Well, I'm
You think-
expecting this game to finish quite soon.
As a draw, right.
Yes, a draw.
Well, that certainly suits Fabi more than it suits Maxim. No question.
I agree.
And it looks like Maxim about to make a move, or has made a move, rather.
I think they have already played more than 100 times.
Rook f5 he played.
Rook f5.
There's Nikita Vityugov as well in shot. And how is David Howell doing against Alireza? There we see the two players. Board 1, of course. So things have happened here. There've been at least an exchange of some pawns.
After c4, David took on c4 and played d5. Very sharp, very concrete
sharp.
approach. Bishop d3, e takes d4. Okay, something is happening in this game.
Mm.
Finally. So if knight d4, I think black wanted to take on e4. It's my
I
first
suppose so.
impression. Also c5.
C5, maybe. Looks hard to believe. But what happens if d takes e4? Let's have a look at that. D takes e4. Takes. Black keeps trading, I suppose.
On
But that
e4.
looks very good for white, doesn't it?
Well, but yeah, then how
exactly,
to
yeah,
protect
I've just
on
seen that.
c6. This is the problem.
I agree. Well, bishop d5 there, is it possible? But,
Do you like it for black?
well, I wouldn't say I like it. I wouldn't go that far. David, by the way, is down to inside 15 minutes now. And Alireza with 42 minutes or so on his clock. How many moves have they played, Anna?
23.
23. And as we can see, it's a complex middle game.
I think white should be better here. Can we just take a look at c5 here?
Wow, c5. Okay, yeah, you mentioned that. Feels very loose, but we'll come back to that,
Just
Anna.
on e6 and taking on c5. It should be better for white.
We'll leave Alireza there on move, and I think we now have Peter Doggers who has something to share with us. So, Pete, over to you.
Yeah, another example from one of the lords. A nice moment in the game on board 47 between two players with quite a big of a age gap. We have 55-year-old Kirill Georgiev from Bulgaria playing 15-year-old Gugashdi from India. One of the biggest gaps possible almost in this field, I think. And it's interesting first for a knight maneuver, which I actually learned when you need to checkmate with bishop and knight against the lone king, that the knight is following the shape of a W. If you have never heard of that, you could Google it, of course, and there's lessons on that also on Chess.com. This knight on b3 is going to make a W as well. There is knight c5 here, queen g4, knight to d3, where we would call it an octopus, from the famous 16th match game Karpov-Kasparov, one of the most famous octopus games. I would recommend playing through that one as well if you don't know it yet. Here, the octopus doesn't stay on d3 for long because we still have to finish the W. To e5 with tempo, and here knight f3 check. So b3, c5, d3, e5, f3. And white could not take with the pawn, because then there would follow queen g5, king h1, takes, threatening mate, takes, and queen h4, threatening mate on h2, and it's all over. So in the game, white decided to take with the knight, but after pawn takes, taking back would lead to another disaster, so white went queen to c4, but after takes, rook e1, and now the nice move, bishop f3. Black is in full control, and actually this position is also -5, almost -6 according to the engine. So Gukash, the younger player, is going to beat the veteran player here in Riga. Back to Anans 2.
And thank you, Pete, for that. It's very instructive. So knight b3, c5, d3, e5, f3.
What a maneuver.
What a maneuver, yeah, in consecutive moves. Really quite something there, and looks like black will be winning from that position we just saw. Great. Alireza here on top board hasn't yet moved, Anna, so that's still the position. After
But bishop d7 has been played.
sorry, bishop d7 we hadn't
So-
seen. That's right. Bishop e6 to d7. white to play?
Now there are of course many possibilities. The first ones I'm considering are knight g to f5, knight d to f5, with the idea of
Coming to d6.
coming to d6, and also possible sacrifices on g7 or h6. So maybe we can take a look at all this move.
Okay. Knight f5. Now, the threat is knight d6, as you say. Well, if black doesn't want to give up the exchange, what should he do? What about, let's try bishop takes f5.
Yeah.
Knight takes,
Rook d8.
rook a8. There's also the queen a4, of course, may also come into consideration now for white. If that rook moves. So what should black do here, I wonder? Queen d7 maybe? Still complex. Might be okay for black.
I think it's better for white after e takes d5.
E takes d5. And then knight takes, I suppose.
Then
And then
bishop
just
d4.
bishop somewhere. Right. Right. Yeah, not sure.
Maybe you take and then knight f4.
It does look dangerous, doesn't it, with the knight on f5 there? Maybe black's okay.
Yeah, black can only be tactical, okay, because strategically this is weak, this is weak, also some problems on g7. What else do we have? After knight f5, black can wait and not take on f5, maybe some bishop c7 move.
Right. That's true.
Like
Yeah.
protecting on a4.
Stops knight d6.
Stops knight d6. Now white has to decide what to do with this pawn because it's under the attack. If white takes now, then knight d5 and...
There we see Maxime against Fabiano.
yeah, maybe we can check what happened. Rook f5, rook b8, d6, takes, and rook d2. Yeah, it's just...
Should be a draw. Or not.
How to make it in the most careful way.
Not sure, actually. King g6, d7. It's not so easy, is it?
Maybe king f8, d7, h5.
King f8. Let's see
King g6, d7, h5. Then bring the king to f5 is also possible.
I mean, black's going to have to defend the 3 against 2, isn't he, on the king's side?
It shouldn't be so difficult.
Should be alright, yeah.
Still not over yet.
Or king g6, rook d7, the same then. You played h5 followed by king f5. Something along those lines. He looks calm, doesn't he, Fabi?
Yeah, he always looks calm. Never in troubles.
He needs to get this absolutely right there.
Okay, let's check some lines. If king to f8, d7, let's say h5, we are preparing d5 and king e7.
Right.
So white has to do something now. If h4, maybe okay, h4, maybe g5 anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, g5 and king up.
So if rook c8, king e7, rook g8,
g8 maybe.
g5. So maybe h4.
Okay. Looks like he's about to make. He's played king f8. Right. And gets up from the table. You get the feeling that he knows what he's doing here, Anna. That he can more or less see his way to a draw.
Yeah, it's very likely this game will be ended in a draw.
Should we have a quick look at Alexei Shirov's game, for example, and also Nikita Vityugov's game?
Here we have Nikita Vityugov game.
This was the crazy game where white played knight d4, and then very committal with d6.
So Nikita played rook b1, queen d7, bishop g4, and here he sacrificed a pawn.
Okay.
And another one is under attack.
Indeed. d6 is attacked. He can take on g7.
I think that's what he will do. Now there's knight e3.
And try to take on f6, of course, with his rook. Oh, what about knight e3? Sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah,
Exactly. Sorry, knight e3.
queen d3, this, rook f8.
Well, at least he has f5 for his knight if he needs it.
Sorry?
He has the f5 square for his knight.
Yeah, but he's exchanged down.
I know, yeah. It's all these adventures. The knight's been going around.
Okay, if he doesn't want to sacrifice an exchange, can he do anything else? I think it's the best chance.
Otherwise, the d pawn just falls. And then the e pawn is also weak as well.
Or maybe queen g4.
Right, okay, yeah. Queen g4 attacks the g pawn with the queen. Maybe rook g8.
Yeah, rook g8. Now queen h5. Okay, now you don't have g6.
Because of queen h7 check.
Yeah, but you can take on d6 with the knight, and I don't have a check. Okay, this is just bad.
What about d7 here, Anna? Under the knight e3? No, d7? Yeah, d7.
And what did you plan after knight e3?
Well, I didn't plan anything, but
D8
I just want to
knight?
go d8 equals knight check. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's just do it. D8 knight.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. Let's say I am surprised, but I have to continue.
And rook
This,
d7,
queen
right.
queen f6 takes, and black should be better in this end.
Hmm. Sure. Queen takes e4 here, right? Yeah, well, very.
I don't know, even the endgame, like the rook endgame is better for black.
Also. There we see on our screens Lei Tingji playing your sister Maria there, top board in the ladies section. And are they about to agree a draw maybe?
Okay, I think luckily for Maria, the rooks are off. And yeah, this looks quite safe. So yeah, after g5, I believe they'll trade everything and agree for a
It
draw.
looks like,
But
yeah.
I think white had advantage, and white could try to
Probably
go
at some
for more.
point
But
she
okay,
just felt
yeah,
that, you know, make a
I
draw,
also understand late in Gia who
complete the good work. Look, sort of raised her eyebrows
So
there. They have
Hashi.
agreed a draw. Well, we have a winner of the
With
FIDE
one,
Chess.com Women's Grand Swiss.
so with 1 round to go, big congratulations to late
Absolutely.
in Gia
Fantastic
for this
results.
amazing performance and getting the spot to the candidates. Oh, Maria said something. Maybe she congratulated also.
8.5 points out of 10.
Absolutely amazing.
And it would be very nice if we could have perhaps a few words with Lei Tingji. We'll see if we can manage that.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't be against to come to
Against-
the interview.
To tell us a little bit more about how she feels. But very, very, and look, that's nice.
Yeah,
The arbiter
also
congratulating her.
congratulations from the arbiter.
Very nice indeed. Thoroughly deserved victory in this tournament, Anna, and a round before the end as well.
Yeah. Okay, now we are going for a short break. Let's hope we'll have an interview with late in Chia, so stay tuned and we will be back shortly.
The new Chess.com events page has arrived. Find all the games from top tournaments around the world, as well as championships played right here on Chess.com. Explore each game and even vote on who you think will win their matchups. Review standings, schedules, key information, and find links to all the top news surrounding each event. Head to chess.com/events today and experience your favorite tournaments like never before.
Welcome back to our live broadcast here from Riga at the Grand Swiss, and we have a special guest with us, Lei Ting-je, who just drew her game with Maria Muzychuk, and with that draw won the tournament in the women's section, the inaugural Women's Grand Swiss. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling right now?
Okay, this game I tried to play for draw, and but my opponent, I think she forgot some lines because rook c6 instead of b takes c6, and I think queen b7 and queen c6, queen c8, and this must be Joyce. So, but she played b takes c6, and I thought, okay, this position I can't lose it, so I want to play, and I just want to enjoy playing chess. But
Yeah, it seems you have a more comfortable position.
yeah, so right now I'm a little confused about it because I don't know the endgame is good for me or just no chance.
But you didn't want to risk it. You just went for a draw, and obviously to secure your first place in the tournament. With a round to spare, how will you be playing tomorrow? Obviously, you won. So how will you approach tomorrow's game?
Okay, the tournament is still playing, so I will try my best in the last round because I would like to have a good memory in Riga.
Well, with a score like this, 8.5 out of 10, I mean, so far it's great. Obviously, your performance is amazing as well. It's over 2,800. How has this affected your personal confidence, and how do you feel?
Okay, I think this tournament is a good opportunity to exercise myself, and I think this time I learned a lot in Riga, and I also get some confidence from this tournament, so I'm quite happy about it.
What would you say were the key lessons learned in this tournament for you?
Because I think this tournament, you can say it's maybe a wonderful tournament for me, but I think the second game, I think I had a bad position, and when I played against her with, which one? I think the sixth round, and I was in time trouble, and I made some big mistakes, but after 40 moves, and I thought I recovered from it, and I think that game was very, very important, and I won that one, and then play against Nino, and she made some bad decision, and I won that game. I think maybe this tournament is coming. Like maybe I can win this tournament.
All right, so the tournament went your way, and obviously tomorrow is just a formality. I just need to ask you, there's $20,000 of prize money. What are you going to do with it? Do you have any idea?
Oh, no idea, because I don't care about it.
When you get it, you'll think about it. All right, well, thank you so much. Congratulations once again, and good luck with the candidates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you, Anna.
Milan, thank you very much. And there we see Lei Ting-je and a thoroughly deserved victory in this Women's Grand Swiss, and a really fantastic performance. And she gets the candidates place.
So I'll meet her there, but maybe also some tournaments before the candidates. So yeah, congratulations to Lei Ting-je. Amazing performance, wonderful games, and yeah, she also shared her thoughts on today's game and how she feels overall about the tournament and about her success.
Now we see, we'll just catch up with one or two of the other women's games and then go back to the Open. On our screens we see this game between Leila Javakishvili and, I'm sorry, we did.
Yeah, I just wanted to come back to Maxim's game.
Okay. This rook ending.
So what happened? King f8, rook d7, g5. He started with g5. Maybe it's more precise to start with g5 indeed. Then h5, h4.
Okay.
Okay, I don't really expect any other result than a draw in this game.
What do you think Fabi will do now?
He can take on h4, play king e8.
Okay.
White will take this pawn on h5, maybe not even so easily taken on h5. But let's say takes,
King e8.
rook h7. Now black can even try to play a rook d5, but the simplest is just
To take on d6, no, would be simplest,
and
yeah.
play king f7.
And he will hold this, of course, yeah. Okay, so Fabiano is steering this game, we believe, towards a draw. And what about the top board game, Anna?
How did they come there? So e takes d4, and knight d4, bishop d7. Then knight f5 was played, but another knight.
Okay, well, which
Yeah,
one
I
more or
wasn't
less
sure
thought
like
of?
if knight
Which knight?
g to f5 or knight d to f5 is better. Knight d to f5 makes sense because this knight on g3 is protecting the e4. So bishop to c7 anyway.
Right.
White takes on d5, c takes d5. Couldn't he take with the knight? Maybe he could, but he decided to take
Knight
with the
takes,
pawn.
sure.
Bishop d5 and a bishop
d4,
d5.
yeah.
Bishop d4, bishop e5.
That is the current position. And David Howell with less than 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Alireza has 25 or 26 minutes.
This looks quite pleasant for white, isn't it? If we take on e5, rook e5, maybe even queen d2 first, but okay, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, okay. But well, white must have other moves, no? As well as taking on e5, he could anyway, he could strengthen his position. What about doubling rooks on the c line, maybe? No.
Rook e to c2?
Yeah, just, I don't know, maybe, yeah. Rook e2, c2. Don't know. One among many options for white. We can check bishop takes e5 as well, Anna. Let's have a look at bishop takes e5.
There are so many moves to consider. David is already under 10 minutes,
Yeah.
so he's again in a time trouble. No surprise.
Yeah, and
Okay, also queen e1 looks interesting.
yeah, bishop b1 maybe. These kinds of moves.
Yeah, bishop e1.
How about that? Bishop b1 so that the queen also covers d4.
Though we're not going to take on d4 with the queen.
Certainly it's a rich position, I would say. Many possibilities. Kind of safe for black as well, maybe at the moment.
But what if queen f1? Then
Queen e1?
takes, yeah, no, then we have to cover the bishop.
So if bishop takes e5, what will David do? He'll play rook takes, won't he? Because of knight
Yeah,
d6.
he'll take with the rook.
He'll take with the rook. Okay. Now. Well, again, rook e to c2. Maybe it's too... the c file's not important, I don't know.
But then better to play rook e to c2 immediately, no? Before a bishop takes e5. Here black has rook e8.
Right, yeah. All right, well, yeah, let's try something else. I don't know. Doesn't look too bad for black, though, these positions. I mean, okay, black has the isolated queen's pawn, white has the d4 square, but I mean, apart from that.
Yeah, there's always some counterplay with knight f4, knight e4.
Yep. It still looks pretty solid for black. Okay. I predict lots of drama still to come in this this position, especially as David
Oh,
maybe
he
gets
has
shorter time. What's been played?
a knight moved somewhere. What was the move?
Something tactical, maybe.
Knight to
Did we miss something?
h6 or what?
Which move did we miss?
Knight
Wow.
h6.
Knight takes h6 check. Goodness me. Well, that's drama, certainly. He wants to take on g6
okay,
next.
Yeah, he wants to take on g6. If bishop d4, he takes here. Yeah, it's actually a bit strange that we didn't even
We
consider
didn't see that
one.
move. Didn't see it. And I wonder if David saw it. So once again, if g takes h6, it's hard to think of anything else. Bishop will take the knight. And now black c5, bishop is hanging. And if bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, attacks the knight on f6.
This is more or less forced.
White has won a pawn, and also black's king is clearly weaker than it was.
So maybe it's not so solid.
Not so solid. A tactical shot there from Alireza. Knight takes h6 check.
I actually have got an update that engine considers that instead of knight h6, rook takes e5 is even stronger. Rook takes e5, I actually considered that move, but I didn't calculate any lines after that. And after knight
What's the idea?
e5,
Then
knight
knight d6.
d6.
Recovering the exchange. And the queen doesn't have that many squares to go to,
But
actually,
if
does she?
queen b8,
Knight takes e8.
knight
And black
takes,
recaptures with
queen
the bishop,
takes.
say, or queen, okay. Queen takes.
Yeah, of course, white's position is more pleasant, but after knight h6, white won a pawn, and here
David has played g takes h6.
I'm just trying to understand why the engine thinks that this is better than the move Alireza made, because I think that knight h6 from practical point of view is stronger.
Bishop takes g6. And it's David's move. Now, what is the best defense here? And David with 7.5 minutes on his clock. Alireza still has 22 minutes or so. And this is where not just the position, but time is also critical.
Yeah, very difficult position for David. So I suppose he will take this one.
Queen 6. And hard to see what he should do here.
He will not take the bishop on g6.
No.
I think he will try to keep the knight on f6 with some move.
He's every so often he just glances across at his clock there. Obviously, that's a big extra strain, not just the position but the time. Anxious moments.
Yeah, not easy.
for David. Yeah, a nice move, huh? Knight takes h6 check. And we have to say it's looking very promising for Alireza, especially with board 2 looking like a draw.
So if Alireza wins this one, then I think tomorrow it's enough for him to make a draw.
Right, if he wins,
to
he'll have,
qualify to the candidates.
he'll have 7.5 points out of 10. And he'll be back in front again.
Oh, really, I don't know what to do after bishop g6. Difficult position for black.
Yeah, very difficult indeed. And yeah, all white's pieces are there attacking, and also one mistake from David, it can just become quickly become hopeless. I mean, he might have a path to save the game. We're not sure. Milan, over to you for an interview.
Thank you very much. We're joined by Vincent Kmart, who just won his game against Kirill Alexenko. Congratulations on your
Thank you.
Along the way, you told me it was a smooth victory. It doesn't happen that easy usually. Could you just take us through the key moments of the game?
Yeah, okay. I mean, he played this Rogozin line, which we also had played already once in Biel, the same opening. Yeah, back then it was a surprise to me. And okay, for this game, I prepared this line, and I think he surprised me with his move h6. But it's always this kind of position that black usually needs to find a way to get his counterplay pretty fast. And I think probably in the game he mixed up a move order or forgot about an engine line, and then it was really uncomfortable position. I mean, I have basically very clear moves. I can have a very clear plan, just play the right moves, and he has to somehow create something. And what he tried was, okay, like, of course, risky, but I mean, if it would have worked, it would have been maybe not that bad anymore. So it was a good try, I think, but yeah, I mean, there was just some concrete problems on the king's side.
You're now on 6.5 points, and you're obviously in contention for the top places now before the next round. How do you feel about the tournament so far? How's it been going for you?
Yeah, I mean, it has been going great for me. I mean, I already won the second game, so I've been on +1, which would already be great for me. And then, okay, I lost one game, immediately the first game after the rest day against Carondellos, and now having won 3 in a row, I'm, of course, really happy.
Just on a more general note, just let me ask you, what are your expectations on the match in Dubai between Ian Nepomniachtchi and Carlsen?
Okay, I certainly expect a tough match because, I mean, it's known that Nepo is always like, at least has had a pretty good score against Magnus, and also I think his nerves are pretty good. So I think, okay, who is the better player, we will see, but I think also in a match it's always about, okay, also preparation and feeling good, being in good shape, and also having the right mindset, all this stuff.
Do you have a personal favorite?
Absolutely not, no.
Absolutely not.
I will just, watch and see.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck. Viel Glück. Danke.
Yes, Milan, thank you very much. And Vincent came there with a great victory today over Kirill Alexenko.
We didn't check it. We checked it in the beginning, but then we maybe let's take a look at this because no, bishop g3. Yeah, actually, I thought about this more. Maybe
David,
it's better
how?
than
Bishop takes g3,
bishop
right?
d4.
And
now I think bishop f6 should be played because if white starts with
he swapped on e8, Anna, there, looks like to me.
Actually, yeah.
He played quite fast. So David, as we've said already, is short on time. Rook takes e8 check.
Okay, I just wanted to say that maybe I don't know with which move order, maybe first taking on g6, but I mean somehow, first taking on g6 and then somehow to get into this position where white is forced to, white, this is even
There's
losing.
even rook f8 to the end, yes.
So after rook e2, maybe bishop f6 first. Maybe even bishop f7 and queen e2, and the king is quite...
With rook f1 to follow.
Yeah,
Yes.
rook f1 is coming.
But he's taken on e8 with check. Now, how does that change things? Rook takes e8 check has been played.
Yeah, now after rook e8, f takes g3, f takes g6,
So now
bishop
queen
f6.
b6 check no longer wins the piece.
Yeah, he has this bishop d4.
So maybe that's the point. And black's king is exposed, of course.
Yeah, this should be winning, I think.
Very uncomfortable for black. Opposite color bishops with a big attack coming black's way.
And if knight e8, there's a checkmate, yeah, somewhere after bishop f7. Or queen h5.
It looks very dangerous indeed,
Oh, knight e8, it's just...
doesn't it? David with 3 minutes now on his clock. And Anna, how many moves have they made?
30.
Still 10 moves to reach the time control, the first time control. And he hasn't recaptured on e8 yet.
Yeah, there is a joke that as Vincent won, German fans want to stop the count because right now Vincent joined the leaders, but the leaders are still playing.
The leaders are still playing, yes. And really David under intense pressure here. He hasn't recaptured yet on e8.
Okay, knight e8 is just, yeah, I don't believe in knight e8. I think rook e8 will be played. Maybe bishop e8. It's more or less.
He's played rook takes e8, natural move, getting the rook into the game. And a simple solution now is just f takes g3 for whites. There may be other ways to play, I don't know. Is he going to surprise us again, Ali Reza? But simply pawn takes bishop, f takes g3, f takes g6, we assume. And then bishop takes f6. A pawn up and a very nice position for white.
Yeah, I think black's chances to save this one are quite low. Also, with 2 minutes on the clock.
This is also, yeah, of course.
Maybe we can check Vincent's game, because he said that it was quite an easy win for him. Just quickly take a look at the game.
Very quickly, right,
Yeah.
because the...
Ah, okay, it was not a long game. So we saw this one.
We did see the start, didn't we? A little bit.
So takes, b5, bishop d3, and knight e4. If black isn't on time to move the knight and push c5, then of course white's position is just with a pleasant edge. So knight d7, knight g3, knight e7, preparing c5, and now b4 stops
Yeah, sure.
all this contact.
Looks very nice for white.
f5. I think this is a mistake. It looks wrong to play this way with the knights on, like no piece, like all the pieces on the back rank and on the 7th rank, and to push
Alright.
f5. I think it was made by e4 at some moment. Rook e1, preparing e4, knight e5, bishop d6, and now e4 on the board.
Simply looks good for white, yeah.
Takes. Bishop h6, and after rook e3.
Wow,
We have a
bishop
draw.
h6.
We have a draw
On
between
top board,
Maxim,
sorry,
yeah,
board 2, right.
Board
Maxim
two
and Fabi,
Maxim and Fabi.
right.
So the players are discussing some lines.
Sure. Okay, well, Fabiana will be, we think, perfectly satisfied with that. Maxime less so.
Yeah, this draw puts Maxim in a must-win situation for tomorrow.
That's right. And even then, depending on the other results, it may not be enough. Okay, so that game is over. We also have Vityugov against Oparin still going with things happening there, we think, and Alexei Shirov against Yu Yang. So we'll have a very quick look at these games, and also David Hall, of course, on top board.
Yeah, this is Nikita's game against Grigori. So Queen g4 was played, rook g8, now d7, what you proposed.
Right.
Knight e3. Rook d8, rook d1. This is the current position.
That's where they are. Okay. Well, black seems to be doing well.
This pawn on d7 is of course very dangerous. If the king was not on b7, we could have a rook d7 idea. Yeah, rook d7, queen a1, checkmate. But of course, still it's White is struggling to. White will be struggling to make a draw in this game.
How is Alexei Shirov doing, Anna, against Yu Yangyi?
Here we have Alexei Shirov. Down to 4 minutes for quite many moves. Still 11 moves to make.
But his position looks quite nice.
He has a bishop pair. This bishop on h3 is a bit out of play.
Rook takes d1 check has just been played, and something's happening in the Alireza game against David Howell as well.
So what's going
we
on
should
there?
maybe have a very quick look at. David's just played a move. In fact, something very he didn't play what we thought he was going to play.
He didn't take. So after rook e8, he didn't take. He played queen to f3.
Wow! And look at David's reply. Played under intense time pressure as well.
Queen
he
to
played
c6.
queen c6. Goodness me! Wow! And if rook takes queen, that's mate in 1. Rook e1 mate. That
And
is
if not, White has to lose a tempo for moving the rook.
yeah, that's the kind of move that you can simply miss, queen c6. That's the kind of move that you can easily miss. He played quickly, didn't he? Queen f3. Yeah, he probably missed this.
He played queen f3 after 2 minutes.
Well.
But what is his idea now? If the rook moves somewhere, bishop e5 comes. And black is a piece up.
Wow. Has this game turned around? Queen c6 from David Howe with 30 or so seconds on his clock.
No, I mean Stuart.
No? I don't know.
We got some help and... do you know which is the only move to hold the balance now?
Well, you'll have to tell me. I don't know.
Bishop to c2.
Bishop c2. How does that...
No, that works. I think that... No, I don't understand.
And if queen takes c2, queen takes g3 check or something like that?
Yeah. And if bishop moves somewhere... Okay, if bishop moves to e5, there is idea to take and the bishop h7. Still, even...
But you know, he didn't have to play queen f3, Anna. He could have just played f takes g3 with a safe...
He simply missed bishop queen to
c6.
c6. Otherwise, you will never play it. So after queen g3, there is rook g5, and after bishop to h7, I think knight h7 takes. And I prefer black's position.
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe.
If black just consolidate all the pieces, it's even winning.
With the pass
So
deep one.
I don't see how this bishop c2 helps. Bishop e5.
So instead of
updates.
just show us again where he played queen f3, Anna. The position where White played queen f3. Where did the queen? The queen was on d1.
The queen was here.
And he had a very simple move. He could have played f takes g3.
We anticipated f takes g3, f takes g6,
Bishop takes
f6.
f6 with, well...
And I thought it was quite big advantage for White in this position because the king is too much exposed with the queens on the board. If, of course, black manages to trade the queens, then the chances to hold the game are high, very high. But with the queens on the board, the position is quite unpleasant.
Goodness me.
Yeah, and look at Alireza.
Yeah.
He completely missed queen to c6.
And you know, sometimes it's what I think you said the other day about being short of time. Sometimes when one is short of time, as David usually is, in fact, your opponent tries to
Win by time, yeah?
push you over the edge, you know, just by playing fast themselves as well. And then you can make mistakes. And it looks like Alireza here has done precisely that. And he's completely missed this, well, pretty amazing move from David, queen b7 to c6.
Yeah, a bit surprising because Alireza is known to be a good tactical player. But yeah, maybe he started to play on time.
To play on time, yeah. And now, well, who knows? Queen
Okay.
c6.
Now another question: how to hold this balance after bishop c2?
Bishop c2, is that really the only move with, I mean, white's a piece down. Rook is attacked on c1. He cannot play rook takes c6 because he's checkmate. Rook e1 is checkmate. If white moves the rook, for example, rook d1, then black can play bishop e5. He's a whole piece up. So just show us, Anna, if rook takes queen, just show us the checkmate so everyone can follow.
You want to see the checkmate?
Well, I want to see it. I mean, I think people would like to see it.
Yeah, this is the problem.
That is checkmate. So the queen cannot be taken. Meanwhile, the rook on c1 is attacked.
Okay, if any other move, yeah, if rook d1, f1, or wherever, then bishop e5.
Right,
So the queen on c6 is doing another important job, protecting the
correct.
knight on f6.
Exactly.
So let's take a look at this only move and try to find a solution after bishop e5.
So black prepared to give his queen up. And we looked at that. Bishop takes e5 and bishop h7 check.
Yeah, I think white has to take, then bishop h7, knight h7, takes.
Takes, and something like this. And, well, I
And
wouldn't
okay,
be sure how to evaluate this. I mean, I see black has a pass d pawn, but
maybe there is some perpetual.
queen g3 forces rook g5.
Maybe queen c3, rook e6, queen g3.
Okay,
I don't know.
check.
But rook g6, queen b8.
Or if queen g3 check, rook g5, and then the rook can come back to g6 to defend the bishop.
There's check. Knight f8.
Wow.
But now white has to fight for a draw.
Goodness me. A complete, well, let's not say turnaround, but
Plot twist.
plot twist. Yeah, can say that. Wow. And look, the clock times David with something like 34 seconds on his clock, we think. Yeah, and
Meanwhile-
Alireza just made a mistake. He just missed his queen c6 move.
Yeah, big blunder.
He had a safe edge, pawn up with a good position. He tried to play trickily, didn't he? He tried this sort of to win in a sharper, quicker fashion, and it has just backfired completely after this queen c6 move. And David will be very aware that he now has a chance not just to save this game, but possibly even to put a bit of pressure on.
Good news for your
Good. Well,
for the Englishman.
well, a real turnaround, and as you say, a plot twist.
There is a draw in the game between Sam Saville and
Sam Severin drew. All right.
Sam Saville drew against Gabriel Sargsyan.
Okay.
So that means both of these players will be on 6.5 out of 10.
All right. Fine. So
Yeah, let's go back to the actual position and.
Right.
Yeah, once
And-
again, the engines say that bishop c2 is the only move in this position.
the only move to not to have a lost position.
Yeah, otherwise bishop e5 and
Black's a piece up.
black is piece up.
Goodness me. Queen c6. Well, David had to find that move, and he found it with
He played it with 4 seconds on the clock.
4 seconds. He played. Well, that's right. He's got 34 seconds. And yeah.
Yeah, it feels like Alireza is becoming nervous. Yeah, I mean, having a comfortable position, pressing, and then finding this knight h6 idea.
Yes, which was a great move.
And suddenly, after queen f3, queen c6, he has to fight for a draw.
And knowing, of course, that he could have played f takes g3.
Yeah.
And
It's
had
psychologically
had a
very
safe position with every chance of converting as well. And also uncomfortable for black to play, wasn't it? Short of time.
Also, the next moves will come quickly. If you go into this fourth line, and David will accumulate some time.
That's right. That's right. So really, bishop c2, we believe, is the right move here. But black may have an advantage. If he doesn't play bishop c2, Anna, he's just a piece down and really quite dubious for it. And taking a big risk as well, because if David gets to the time control and he's a piece up, it might just be winning. White just has one pawn for his piece at the moment.
Yeah, very uncomfortable situation for Alireza.
Right.
Yeah, we can see he missed it.
Yeah.
He unfortunately missed this queen c6.
Brilliant move there from David Howe. Queen b7 to c6.
No, I feel like he's both angry, sad.
Alireza,
Yeah, all
angry and sad. Yeah, you could say
bunch
that.
of emotions on his face.
And well, he's sort of very frustrating as well, I'm sure, for him to have made that one slip in what was a really nice game as well, up to that point. Just a little bit careless, and really provoked in part, I think, by David's time shortage. The fact that David had so little time, I think, was a factor in Alireza playing queen f3 too quickly.
I remember that when I was young, there was even a recommendation like, what did he do?
He's played bishop c2, I believe.
He played bishop c2.
Go on, Anna.
Yeah, I just, when I was young, I mean, when I was a kid, there was even a recommendation. If you have a really bad position, go into the time trouble, because then your opponent may start playing like just on your time and miss something.
Has David played bishop b8 there?
I don't know.
After bishop c2?
After bishop c2, yeah, bishop b8.
He's played bishop b8. Bishop b8. We thought bishop e5, didn't we? Sacrificing, well, prepared to sacrifice the queen. Was the only move we looked at, bishop e5. Bishop b8. What is happening?
If queen f6?
If queen takes f6, then well, black's just going into an endgame, right?
Takes, rook c8,
Rook
bishop
c8 or
c3.
something. That is a surprise. Bishop b8. What a game, huh? For top board.
I think bishop b8 is not that big surprise. I mean, comparing to. But bishop c2 was found, so he managed.
He found bishop c2, possibly, we think, the only move. We expected bishop b5. He's played bishop b8. So if bishop takes f6, then queen takes c2 still works.
And
right?
there is checkmate.
And checkmate again on the back. So in fact, black threatens here. Queen takes c2. That is black's threat. Queen takes bishop.
Yeah, of course. Like bishop f6, then we just take on c2, and we say we win the game. So queen f6 or what else?
Or what else?
I think nothing. Black has to take, otherwise it's checkmate.
Black must take.
Take, and now there are options.
Right. Black could play rook c8, Anna, we said.
Yeah, rook c8, bishop
Annoying
c3.
pin. But bishop c3 seems to be okay. Does Does d4 work or not really? Looks like he's played. There's
Took
been an exchange on
F6
f6.
twice, yeah.
He's taken on f6. And he's played rook c8, exactly.
But is this position better than the one we discussed after bishop e5? I mean, for black.
Bishop c3, all as we were saying, Anna, this position now on the board.
Here he's a pawn down. So maybe, I don't know. Bishop e5 looked like a better option.
Is there a tactic for black here or not?
Which one?
I don't know. Bishop d6 or something to take on a3 or.
Bishop d6, then just bishop d3. I think maybe d4, bishop f4.
d4, bishop takes, bishop f4, bishop e3, not working, no?
Takes, bishop f5.
f5, right. So
so maybe okay, let's show the line.
d4,
So
let's see what
d4,
happens. d5, d4, takes.
White takes bishop f4. Then after this we have bishop f5.
Wins a piece.
The line we were talking about, but bishop d2.
Right. Exactly, bishop d2. What is wrong with that? Nothing, huh? Bishop d2 and.
Okay, white is a pawn up.
Sure.
It's a bit surprising David played bishop b8.
Once
Like
again,
surprise after surprise.
he's going to have to make a move. He's played d4. Okay. Which move number is that, Anna? d4?
35.
35. Okay, he's got 30 seconds.
So bishop, no.
Bishop
D2,
d2, we
the
think.
only move.
Bishop d2.
How is he going to save this one? Bishop e5? Bishop e5, bishop d3.
He's played bishop d2, yeah. That's right. Bishop d2 is probably the only move. And next move, as you say, bishop d3 and blocks the pawn. White is, well, has a safe extra pawn, we think.
Yeah, bishop e5 is not possible due to bishop h7.
This bishop b8 move was maybe not the right one, Anna. When he had that bishop e5 option. Okay. Black to play inside 30 seconds. He's moved his king.
King to g7.
I mean, there was a problem. Bishop b5, for example, simply lost the bishop h7 check. So he's moved his king.
But after bishop d3.
And yeah.
I think he has to take.
It's a pawn up, isn't it? Simply pawn up.
I think it should be winning.
For bishop ending.
After king f6, we have g4, which prevents bishop f5.
To stop bishop f5, right. Also king f6, can white take on h6 or not?
I thought about giving this pawn, but
Bit
to
dangerous
get this
maybe.
idea was
Bishop
bishop
f5.
f5 and then
right.
to push the pawn. Maybe bishop h6 also possible, but g4.
Also white can bring his king to e2.
Yeah, very unpleasant endgame.
So, yeah. Another plot twist, Anna. After the
It's
earlier
like
one.
everything looks so bad. Then, oh, queen c6. Now we're back, and then bishop b8. Oh, now everything looks so bad again.
Well, it's easy for us to say or to point moves out here.
Yeah,
but,
without any pressure, yeah.
without any pressure. But when you're sitting there on top board after 9 rounds already, and you're playing for
the candidates.
the candidates, then you know, to choose between bishop e5 or bishop b8 or something is
Yeah, I agree.
not at all straightforward. The other line meant giving up his queen, of course. So they're still not at move 40. Just remind us, Anna, how many moves do they have to go?
King g7, move number 36, so 4 to go.
4 moves to go. And Alireza down to about 5 minutes. Just to remind us all of the time control there, that after they reach the first time control at move 40, they will each have 50 minutes for the next 20 moves. And then if the game is still in progress, another 15 minutes. Those are the results, Anna, so far. And we had an interview with Vincent there, very impressive victory over Kirill Alexenko.
Yeah, sure, and also 3 draws, but also many games in progress. There is another result in the game. Levon Aronian won his game against Nodirbek
Right. There we see the
Abdussadaro.
women's results, Anna, sorry. Lei Tingji winning, drawing and winning the tournament there. And a win for Daisy Corey against Nana. So we'll maybe come back and have a look at that. But first, let's keep up to date
Daisy
with...
Corey, amazing girl.
Yeah, another win for her.
Yeah, also Yulia Osmak beat Alina Kashlinska. Actually, Alina suffered 2 defeats in a row, yeah?
So what has happened to h5 we see from David?
Bishop d3 has been played, rook takes, and h5. So maybe he's preparing
To play king
f6
and
bishop
prevents
f5.
g4 from white as well.
But now white is on time to put the king on e2. Just king f1 and king e2.
That's right. Certainly could play that. I wonder if bishop g5 would make sense, and after f6 just come back with the bishop to d2.
I think that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, bishop g5.
Bishop g5. Good move. After f6, bishop d2.
Still some moves to go before they reach the control.
Okay, black should try to keep all the bishops on the board, because if you have a bishop's trade, doesn't matter, light squares or black or dark squares bishop, then white's task will be much easier.
Yeah, white has a 3 against 2 majority on the king side, and black's d pawn is blocked.
So white will try to bring the king to e2, and then think about pushing b3. I don't know, bishop c4 and b3, or bishop c2
Right.
and b3.
And make a pass pawn over there, yeah.
If bishop c2, there will be always bishop b5, so maybe bishop c4 and b3.
So difficult times ahead for David here.
Yeah, one more update. Bibisara Sobaeva won her game.
Oh, wow.
She just won, and she got her GM norm. Congratulations to
Big
Bibisara.
congratulations to her. She beat Shuvalova, was it? She was playing
Yeah.
today. Wow, what a fantastic performance from Bibisara. Alireza has played a move meanwhile. Let's see what he played after David's h5.
Seems like he played h4.
h4. All right. Not the
So maybe he wants to play bishop g5 after king f6.
king of 6, bishop g5 check. All right. Then king could come to e5 maybe. Still a couple of moves that David has to play here to get to the control at move 40.
He can still play, yeah? Like king f6, bishop g5.
Maybe
king
simply
to
king
e5.
f1, king e2, and if king f6.
Then why did he hurry with h4, or he was... Maybe he didn't want to allow h4 from black, yeah? Bishop
David's done something
somewhere.
else. See what he's played. Bishop c6 maybe. Bishop c6. Okay.
Then king f1.
King
King
f1.
f1, g3.
Right.
Or we shouldn't hurry with g3. No, maybe we can play g3. King f1, then g3. If bishop f3, we play bishop e2.
Right. Maybe he wanted to fix that h5 pawn there on that square. But clearly white is a safe pawn up and must be good winning chances for Alireza. After that scare, that queen c6 scare, and a very wild complications, which may have been in black's favor, possibly.
Another draw on board 8 between Sana Sugiro and Pantala Harakrishna.
Okay. So what's he going to play? King f1?
Yeah, king f1. I am voting for king f1.
Simply bringing his king out, and then he'll have to play probably g3 to free the king from the defense of the g2 pawn. Again, bishop g5, Anna, is a possibility here. You could play the move I said before, bishop g5.
I can also start with g3, perhaps. Maybe it's more or less the same.
Yes,
G3.
he's played g3, look.
So Alireza reached move 40 and he stood up.
Right.
And David still has to make one move. One last move and get 50 minutes.
50
and then to
minutes.
think.
Right.
I think he's the only player who mentioned that he likes this long time control.
Yeah. He does like it. He's gone back with his bishop, it looks like.
Bishop to d7,
He didn't
yeah?
look very happy with himself there, did he?
So g3, bishop d7. Okay. They reached move 40 and...
Right, okay. And I think, Anna, we may be having a quick break now. And then we'll be back with all the action from the women's event as well as, of course, as this game and the others from the open section. So we'll see you all in a couple of minutes.
Want to hold a massive chess tournament with dozens of clubs or hundreds of players? Or maybe a small chess tournament with local but competitive clubs? With Club Arenas, you can. Club Arenas allow for tournaments of any size with any number of clubs and players. Customize the arena with any time control, with standard chess or mini chess variants, and with any starting position you want. Club Arenas are the most flexible tournament format on Chess.com. Try one out today.
And welcome back, everyone. I am Anna Muzychuk here with Stuart Conquest, and we are commentating on round 10. This time it's round 10.
Not round 8.
Not round 8, it's round 10. And still many games, many exciting games are in progress. A couple of games have been finished on the top board, both in open and women's section. But this game between Alireza Firuza and David Howell, crazy game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely crazy game with ups and downs, and it's still on progress. The players reached move 40, so they got additional 50 minutes on the clock, and now David is happy to have time to think again.
That's right. The last move was King G1 to F1 from Alireza. So what can we say, Anna? The white basically is a pawn up for nothing. It's an extra white pawn, and David has a real task ahead to try to save this position.
The only problem about white's position is that these two pawns are blocked by this pawn on a4, so white has to solve this task by trying to push b3 or b4. But first it's good to bring the king to closer towards the center, so king f1, king e2, and then think about how to push b3. Here we have the results in the women's section.
And a fine win there for Bibisara Aswabayeva from Kazakhstan, Anna, who makes the Grandmaster norm.
Congratulations to Bibisara on this win, and of course for getting the GM norm. Also Daisy Corey, another win.
Brilliant.
Amazing girl.
She lost her first 3, then she won 5.
Losing the first 3 games, then winning 5, making a draw yesterday, and
won.
winning 1 more game. So she's
Brilliant
on
stuff.
6.5 out of 10, and also another win by Yuri Osmak against.
Those are the open results, Anna, and just the single decisive result so far, which is Vincent Kmart, who beat Kirill Alexenko. So congratulations to him. And the other games without results is obviously still going on, but the others have been drawn. So we have games to check up on as well, but that's David Howell on the screen. By the way, apparently Bibisara didn't know that she'd made a Grandmaster norm.
She was a bit surprised.
She was surprised. So how sweet is that?
But sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good you just come to play the game without this pressure for like how many points do I need? If I win, will it be enough or not? So yeah, just play a tournament, and then if you make it.
If you make it, you make it. I wonder if it's her first GM norm. It may be.
To be honest, I don't know, but it may be her first one.
But anyway, big congratulations to her. She's played a really good tournament, and of course playing for a good prize money tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I think she's like gaining maybe around 30 points in this tournament. A wonderful performance by Bibisara, and yeah, 1 more game tomorrow, so she will try to fight for the prizes. Nobody can fight for the candidate sport in the women's section anymore.
That's right.
So Lei Jie is already the winner of the tournament. But yeah, there are still many prizes, and there are.
Now we see David's made a move.
Okay, what did he play?
I'm not sure. It looked like Bishop E5. Bishop E5. Yeah.
How did you see it behind the board?
Bishop B8 E5, and well, difficult to know what to suggest for black. I mean, talking about pawn islands, Anna, as we have a couple of times here, black has 4 of them. 4 pawn islands, so white has 2. So 4 potentially weak pawns there.
Okay, I'll try to suggest something here. After king e2, maybe we can check. And after a 3, move the bishop back, and the pawn on g3 will be hanging.
And if king d2?
If king d2, I don't know, because yeah, it covers the bishop, but it starts threatening bishop to b5. So
That's right.
I
Bishop
don't
b5
know.
is the threat here, isn't it?
Maybe let's check Vitigov's game.
Yes. Let's look at the other
What's
games
going
quickly.
on there?
Goodness me, look at this. Look at
Okay,
that pawn on
black is
c2.
winning.
Have they reached the time control?
Yeah, they did. They did read the time control.
And this has also been a thrilling game where there was that amazing knight d4 move and then other adventures as well. But it looks like black is doing great here. Maybe winning, simply.
Okay, queen f1 is a simple threat. But I don't see how white can save this one. If rook moves somewhere, let's say rook e1, even queen d4 wins.
Exactly, that's right. Simply queen d4 would win then, yeah. Nikita Vityukov here, Russian champion, but
I
Quite
don't really see.
quite an upset here if he loses this, which it looks like he's going to.
Yeah, with white pieces, it's quite
Yeah.
painful.
I mean, he obviously
And-
tried to win today. He took chances. He played some moves which he may not have done if the situation had been different.
And Grigorio Parin, if he wins this one, he will be. He'll have 7 points out of 10.
That's
Plus
right.
4.
Now, what about Alexei Shirov? How's he doing against Yu Yangyi? There we see Alexei. And somehow black's got this far advanced past e-pawn.
Looks very good for black.
It does. It does look very good for black.
I thought
Yeah.
about some g4, g5 idea, but after g4 there is e2, and then queen e3 comes, taking this pawn.
It does look very dangerous, doesn't it?
So something.
Unpleasant, anyway.
Yeah, Alexei played a very interesting game. I really liked his opening choice and then how he played. This move a4, a wonderful move.
Right.
But it looks like something went wrong in the time trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's fighting for a draw.
Yeah. So, yeah. He's had a really magnificent tournament, Alexei, this far, but
Yeah, both players on 6 out of 9.
and Alexei undefeated up to today. But here, this might be a big test of that. Clearly, Yu Yangyi pushing to win.
And what about Andrei Yasipenko? Bishop b5, bishop e2.
Yes, what happened? They're still playing.
They're still playing. White is a pawn up. I think he's close to win this game. Just rook d2, rook d5.
Mm-hmm. Safe pawn up.
Or rook a2 and rook b5 and just push the pawn.
Apparently, Anna, this game had to be. They had to move because the overhead lighting, the light that was focused on this game, stopped working or something like that, and they had to move to a different board earlier in the game.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so just one of those things that occasionally happens. Obviously, if the lighting is not right, then the game.
Yeah,
needs
then
to
we don't play without lights.
So the arbiters would have stepped in and taken that decision.
Yeah, sometimes it happens that the light disappears.
You see, that's where they were playing, I believe. You see,
And now, where are they?
now they're somewhere else.
Yeah, actually true, because there was some problem. We had then we had some other moves in this game, and then we were back to this game. So maybe maybe the organizers tried to make it technically.
Doesn't look too bad there, the lighting, does it? But maybe it's not what it.
No, the
should have
lighting in
been.
the playing hall is actually very good.
Hmm.
But yeah, maybe something happened to the light just over them.
Right. But anyway, the game is still in progress. That's the position, and Yesipenko is playing there with an extra pawn for white, and certainly has very healthy winning chances, let's say.
Yeah, I think rook a2, rook b5, a5 is a good plan to improve the position. Black can also try to bring the king to g3.
There's Alireza on camera. And which move has he played, Anna? King has come across.
Sorry, this is Maxim's game. He played... Looks like he played bishop e2.
He's brought his king across to d2, hasn't he? Or not?
Yeah. King e2, bishop g4, and king d2.
And a move from
That's
David
what we
there
expected.
as well. Right. David also made a move.
Bishop d7 back.
Yeah, okay, because bishop b5, as we said, I think, was a threat. And if black were to lose that a4 pawn, that would really be the end of the game. So he's gone back to d7.
Okay, and what about the second part of the plan? Bishop c4 and b3.
Right. David sort of with his head in his hands and maybe thinking about the position before the time control after queen c6, and maybe that bishop b8 move, Anna, was
I
missed
was
chance.
advised not to think about such things during the game.
Not to think about what's gone before, but just to...
Yeah, because you can't take it back, so what's the
Right.
point?
Right, well, yeah. So if Alireza can win this position, a pawn up against David Howell, he then goes back into sole lead of this event. But still, he would have to at least get a draw tomorrow, Anna, wouldn't he? To sort of guarantee a candidate's place, I think.
He may actually play Oparin or Yu Yang-yi tomorrow.
Bishop's not on c4 yet. He hasn't played that. Bishop d7, the last move. White to play. He's about to make a move. King c2, Anna, I think you mentioned that.
Okay, he wants to keep the bishop on d3, also opening his dark squared bishop.
The thing is that black has no counterplay, of course,
and if black plays bishop e6, then I think bishop b5, bishop b3,
check, king comes to d3.
and then
Yeah.
somehow
To go for this d4 pawn.
and we have the result. Grigory Oparin seems to win.
Right, against
Yeah,
Nikita.
he won. He won his game against Nikita
Yeah,
Vitigo.
that's a big result.
7 out of 10 for Grigory Oparin.
Right. He's having a really great event. He hasn't lost any games, I don't think.
Yeah, big win today.
And
And
big
now
win.
he's one of the candidates.
Yeah.
He will try to fight tomorrow. He will play with white pieces, very likely. So he has chances.
He could play Alireza, perhaps, huh?
Yeah.
We saw Maxime drew with Fabiano earlier.
Okay, if he wins and Yu Yang-yi, I mean, he already won, but if Yu Yang-yi also wins, then I think Yu Yang-yi has better chances to play against Alireza. Because by the pairings, it's like the higher rated player.
So
Though maybe it's too early to predict
it's
some
true,
pairings
we
for
don't know.
tomorrow.
I mean, Alexei Shirov may be able to defend that position. We don't know. There's Alexei. Born and
So,
bred here in Riga.
yeah, what about Alexei's game? He hasn't made any moves, or there are no updates.
He's just made a move
about-
now, look. In fact, looks like he's just played a move.
Bishop to d4.
Bishop b2 to d4. Okay.
What about queen e4? Are we going to play bishop b6?
I was thinking about that just now, yes. Queen e4, bishop
It
b6.
looks dangerous, but maybe it works. This is just bishop b6.
And then if e2, of course, queen e1. Alexei looking at his score sheet there.
Bishop d4 looks like a good move because otherwise e2 and queen e3 was coming.
Right, he's taken that e3 square from black's queen, correct. And yeah, there may be a counterplay with bishop b6 against black's a5 pawn in some lines.
What about queen e6?
Queen e6, maybe queen e1 to force e2 anyway. And then just try to defend this position. After all, white's nothing down. I mean,
Yeah, but this e2 pawn
it's
is very dominating.
it is. White could play bishop f2, maybe. Imagine. Well, he may yet save this.
Maybe black should try to create another weakness. Yeah, if one is not enough, or some h5, h4. Okay, here we have an upcoming interview with Grigorio Parin. So, Milan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Anna. Yes, Grigorio Parin is joining us now, who just won a game against Nikita Vityugov. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
It was a crazy game. You said it yourself earlier. Could you just take us through it for the key moments?
Yeah, indeed, it was a crazy game. Nikita went for a very strategically risky opening with white, and then he had to destabilize the position. And he went for this knight d4 piece sacrifice, which I did not accept, and I think that was the right decision. I just wanted to keep my structure so solid and just do not give him any counterplay. And well, I felt that I had advantage from that point on. To be honest, it wasn't easy, but it just my pawn structure is so much superior than his that I felt that in the end I should just grab those pawns.
Yes, his position just fell apart. I've heard Anna and Stuart commenting at the beginning that a very interesting move when you make king d7 instead of, and then the king gradually made his way to the queen side. Could you just elaborate more on that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, although it's a typical idea to bring the king to c7, and king d7 is just a very nice opening move. And I mean, for me, it was the most logical move because the point is that we don't really want to move our queen on d8 yet and our bishop on c8 yet. For example, I could do basically the same, but just play queen e7, then bishop d7, castle long. But it's not clear where my bishop belongs. For example, I can go to a6 as well. My queen won't get under attack on d8 because there are some ideas of knight g3, knight f5. So yeah, king d7 seemed like a good way, and I calculated a bit this f4 thing, and I didn't see it working for white, so I just went for it. Yeah.
So you're now on 7 out of 10. It's been generally, how would you assess the tournament so far for you? How's it been?
Yeah, it's going amazing, obviously. I mean, I got lucky in some games, but that's sport, yeah. So today I think I won a pretty high quality game, so I'm happy about today's game. And yeah, so I'm just playing game after game.
Yes, you mentioned earlier that these last rounds make people feel a bit nervous. So does that tension, is it felt in the air here when you enter the playing hall?
Yeah, I mean, you can feel it on all the boards. Like people cannot just winning positions or blunder in one move. That's right.
So okay, so for tomorrow, obviously you still don't know who you will be playing, but you're now with 7 out of 10, you're clearly in the race. Will you be preparing in a special way other than you normally do, or is it going to be like any other game?
Well, probably I'll just do the same. We'll see. I mean, first we need to see the pairings, and yeah. And
then you'll know. Well, okay, thank you very much, and good luck with tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Milan, and thank you, Grigori. Congratulations to him for that very exciting victory over Nikita Vichugov. We enjoyed that game, Anna, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a very interesting game with king d7, king c7, king b7 maneuver. Also, knight d4 move from Nikita Vichugov was quite spectacular. But then, as Grigori mentioned, Nikita played in a very risky way, and his strategy didn't work. So
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, Nikita was clearly trying to win today with white and chose a double-edged strategic line and played very sharply, and it sort of didn't quite work out for him today, did it? So, okay, this is the top board game. We see Alireza there on camera against David Howell. He's a clear pawn up. And Anna, what's the latest moves here?
king c2, bishop e6. This is the current position.
Right.
And it feels like Alireza is very close to win this one.
I agree.
Yeah, bishop b5, bishop b3, king d3.
And then bring the bishop round to take on d4.
Let's say king f6. But after bishop d2, king e6, we may think about bishop c4.
Yes. That's right, yeah.
Although, is
not
it so
looking-
clear if we take on d3?
Okay. And the bishop c3, d2.
Maybe still. Bishop b4. When the king moves to d5, we play bishop e8.
Okay, bishop c5 is the threat. Well, but then black can play
Half
king
threat.
d5. So if black were to wait here, bishop, well, how does he wait? f6?
Bishop b8.
Yeah, then bishop e8 hits h5, that's another problem. That's another problem, we can't really do that.
It's like black is a pawn down, but also all these three
Exactly.
pawns
That's right.
are quite weak.
4 weaknesses, really. You could say that. And black has to keep them all. He's a pawn down already. He can't afford to lose another pawn. So every chance of Alireza winning, but of course we're going to keep following the game. And we'll see what happens. We're going to have a very short break, Anna.
Maybe we keep the camera on that game because it's board number 1 and it's the most important game for today. So we are just going for a short break and we will be back shortly.
We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
The new Chess.com events page has arrived. Find all the games from top tournaments around the world, as well as championships played right here on Chess.com. Explore each game and even vote on who you think will win their matchups. Review standings, schedules, key information, and find links to all the top news surrounding each event. Head to chess.com/events today and experience your favorite tournaments like never before.
Yes, and welcome back, everyone. And here we are in Riga, Latvia, day 10, round 10 of the FIDE Chess.com Grand Swiss and Women's Grand Swiss. And lots of drama and excitement today, as every day. And we've been following the top games, of course. Those are the women's results, Anna. And we have a winner, Lei Tingji.
Yeah, Lei Tingji, the winner of Women's Grand Swiss 2021. Congratulations to Lei Tingji. But also we have an important result on board number 3. Zhuzhiner won the game and she scored a GM norm.
Brilliant.
So
Fantastic news for her.
congratulations to Zhuzhiner. We have to say that earlier Lela actually before that round she also scored GM norm, and Bibisara Sobaeva by winning against Polina Shovalova, another GM norm for
So
Bibisara.
3 GM norms in the women's event. Well done to all 3 players, of course. These are the current results in the open event. So many draws, an important win for Grigory Oparin with black against Nikita Vichugov. He gave us an interview a short time ago. And also Vincent Kmart winning convincingly against Kirill Alexeyenko. The other games so far have ended in draws. And
Actually,
yeah, this is the top board game, Anna. You're going to say?
Bishop b5, Bishop b3, and King d3 was played.
Okay. David Howell here playing black, of course, a pawn down, and there was a very exciting moment in this game, wasn't there, Anna, with Queen c6 in David's time trouble, which he found with well, less than 30 seconds on his clock, and it looked like the game almost turned around, didn't it? For,
It was very unclear, but then the next move, I think Bishop b8 was a mistake.
So high drama in this game, but now Alireza a safe, healthy pawn to the good. David Howell has 4, let's call them isolated pawns anyway. He has to keep them all defended, and White has a plan of trying to round up this pawn on d4. Maybe king f6. Black could play, try to bring his king towards d5. But very tough to hold, Anna, don't you think?
Yeah, we spoke about king f6 and all the ideas which may happen in this game. Additionally, you know, Lei Tingji, she is the winner of the event, but Zhuzhiner is now at clear second with 7 points out of 10.
Right, so it's
and
Chinese...
they play each other tomorrow.
And they play each other?
It's automatically, yeah. They haven't faced each other, so they have to play against each other. So 2 Chinese players in the tournament and being on the very top.
Yeah, dominating Chinese dominance of this event. And well, they both ladies have played really well. And as we just heard, a GM norm for Zhuzhiner today, having beaten Leila Javakishvili. So David's made a move.
A king to g6.
King g6, not king f6.
And what is the difference if you still play bishop d2?
Right. Bishop d2, the plan is to play bishop b4 or bishop a5 and then come to c5 or b6 and just take this d pawn.
Alireza on our screens. Now he looks confident, yeah? When he missed queen c6,
right.
He didn't look so confident.
Absolutely, he didn't, yeah. He clearly missed queen c6. He played that queen f3 move, didn't he? He had a safe alternative. He could have been a pawn up with a nice safe edge. He chose a sharp move instead in David's time trouble and was hit by queen c6. And all of a sudden the game was wide open again, and maybe David had a chance on the following move as well.
Maybe let's check Alexei's game, as it's also a very important game of today's round.
Alexei Shirov, so he has brought his bishop back to f2.
So e2 was played, queen e1, queen e4, and bishop f2. Not a pleasant position for Alexei, but still he's playing, he's fighting.
That's right. And
I had the idea to bring this king to h3.
F3 or somewhere. Sure. Do you think White could try to play c4? c2 to c4. Try to free his position a bit. Is that his idea?
Don't know what to say, because it may appear to be good, it can be also bad, as it's weakening the king. I even had another idea to bring the bishop to f5 or to g4.
Yes. Yeah, you could start here, couldn't you? You could play bishop c8 here, in fact. Bishop c8, and if king d2, bishop comes to g4. Not at all pleasant for White.
Yeah, it's quite passive. I still prefer king f7 in this position, just to wait to see what White is going to do. But maybe your idea with c4 is right.
Well, imagine
but
if...
c4 or c3? Yeah, after
or
c4,
c3, of course.
c4 maybe
Or
queen
c3.
d3.
Yeah, this is a really tremendous pawn on e2, isn't it?
Yeah. Another Chinese player.
I was about to say, with the two Chinese women doing so well in the women's section, and Yang Yi here, if he wins, he also moves to 7 points, Anna, with options for picking up one of those two candidate spots as well.
So right now we have Fabiana Caruana and Grigorio Parin with 7 points, 7 out of 10.
Right.
And if Alireza wins, he will be on 7.5.
That's right.
And how is Andrei doing, Andrei Sipenko? Ah, he did play rook a2, he pushed the pawn to a5, and yeah, it's quite close to winning.
Yeah, he's playing here Krishnan Sasikiran from India, who's had a very good tournament indeed. But it looks like this may not be going his way. Clear pawn up for White. By the way, Alexandra Gorachkina, I think she had a good result today, Anna.
Yeah, she won her first game, so finally.
Who did she play? Do we know?
I think she played in Nations, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check.
Have a quick look. The
Yeah,
only
Arthur's Nations.
local, well, Latvian grandmaster. So congratulations to her, the only female in the open section.
So now she's on -1, yeah?
I'm not sure. How many points she's on? David there looking, wow. Not looking too happy, is he?
-2. Yeah, he's in a very difficult position. We can understand him. Bishop d7 played.
Okay, preventing...
White could also play bishop d7 after king f5. But okay,
yes, he
bishop
could have
d7.
waited. Is he threatening also a move like bishop f4?
Could be. Because immediately bishop f4, I think black could take and play king f5. And
right.
maybe it's still losing, but it's already some kind of counterplay.
Sure.
No need to allow that.
That's right. No, but now black's king is not allowed to get to the f5 square. So one idea may be bishop f4. The thing is, white holds all the aces here. White can set black problems on across the whole board, more or less, and can offer an exchange of bishops, can attack black's pawns, prevent black's king coming out. So very tough indeed for black.
Maybe let's check some other games which are still in progress,
Okay.
not on the top boards,
All
but
right.
maybe something exciting is happening there. Here we have Yuri Kozuba against Nils Carondellos, and I think this will be a draw.
Yep, I think so too.
Yeah. Mm. Vladislav Artemyev, who scored a victory yesterday and who was really very happy about that because he started with 6 draws or something like that.
Right. Look at Black's king there on d3. Wow.
Was
Super active king.
it just king d3? And if white starts pushing
Exactly,
the
yeah,
pawns,
you'd think just b5 and just push.
maybe knight d4.
All right, and if
Yeah,
b6,
maybe.
just come back.
Yeah, maybe black will hold this.
Hmm.
King d3 interesting.
He wants d4 for his knight, doesn't he, as well now?
Sorry?
He wants to put his knight on d4.
Or no, king c2, king b2.
Play for a win.
Not really.
David has played a
Bishop
move.
d1.
Bishop d1. Bishop b3 to d1, all right. Now, should white play bishop f4 or not?
Sometimes in such positions there is even an idea to sacrifice with b4. After
Oh,
a
right,
takes b3,
to get a passed
then
a pawn.
maybe bishop b2 and then just to move this pawn.
That's
But
quite clever, actually, yeah.
yeah, also, once again, there is no need in this position, but just like an idea.
Yeah. Lots of things white could do. Just bring his bishop round. Bishop d2, bishop b4. Bishop f4 is quite a concrete move, isn't it? Maybe then king f6.
Just check.
Right. You can check, of course. Yeah, that's true. Not going to go back.
Bishop d2, I think.
Played a move. Bishop d2, do you think?
I think bishop d2 was played.
It looks that way. Yeah, bishop d2.
Yeah, bishop d2.
Thing is, what does black do? Black just has to keep everything protected and...
But it's just impossible to keep everything
well,
protected.
no, I understand.
After
yeah.
king f6, bishop b4, already
Or
king
bishop
d2 is the threat because the bishop can't control both of these pawns. Unfortunately, I can't find any chances for David in the current position.
Yeah, it's... I think it's too much, really, to ask to defend this one. Weak pawns and a pawn less. White's king stands well on d3, and the white bishop's controlling the squares, really, that they need to. So, well, 2 years ago, David had chances, didn't he, going into the last round, in fact, at the Isle of Man in this event, in the Grand Swiss, and he lost his last round to Wang Hao, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, indeed.
And here, it looks like, although he's won 4 games in a row, to get himself into this position on top board, equal first, going into the 10th round. It looks like it's not going to happen for him, is it, this time either? But anyway, we'll stay with this game. Any other results, Anna, or any other games we could have a quick look at? Alexei Shirov, we've seen, is in trouble against Yu Yangyi.
Okay, we have Alexei Shirov, Andrei Sipenko on the top 10 boards. Maybe let's check if there are any updates in that games. So rook c6, and Andrei is still thinking.
Okay.
So what can he do? Maybe I think black is preparing rook a to c7. So maybe he can try rook a4. With the idea of rook b6, if rook to c7, then king b3, and still rook
Right.
b6 after that.
White would like to swap a pair of rooks, I guess.
Yeah. Then it will be easier to push the pawn.
Rook a4 with the idea of rook b6. I like that move. Yeah. Sure.
And Alexei's game,
Nothing happened yet.
nothing. What about top women's games?
Okay, let's have a quick look.
I think the first 5 boards already finished their games. So we have board number 6. Bathoyak Guntul against Nina Batsiashvili. This looks like...
We haven't followed this game at all, have we? But
No, I don't remember.
black to play. It looks like might just be a draw.
Yeah, if king c2, check first.
Check, and then put the rook behind the pawn.
Yeah, if king d2 or king b3 first,
Then
rook b5
exactly,
and h5. Yeah, looks like
And
a
then
draw.
sacrifice and then draw.
And board number 10, Antonetta Stefano against Vaishali.
So b5, b4 just played from Vaishali.
So it's either white takes on b4 or rook d5. Okay,
She
a
looks
takes
like she has
b4,
taken.
rook takes back maybe. It was also possible to take on e4. Maybe it was easier to take on e4. Takes, takes, takes.
Right.
Okay, also very close to a draw. Or not.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, back to the open section. Bishop c8.
Oh, right, your idea actually. You said bishop c8 to f5, maybe.
Looks good.
Yeah, putting pressure on c2, of course. Very unpleasant for Alexei.
Okay, whom else do we have? This one may be interesting. Pragnand against Gelfand.
Right,
One of the youngest participants against one of the oldest.
That's right.
2 pieces and a pawn for a rook. But it's white to move.
White to play. Boris gave a nice interview, didn't he, yesterday on the broadcast?
He didn't only give a nice interview, he played a very interesting game with 5 queens on
That's
the board.
right. Actually, that's exactly right. And he won. So what do we think is happening here, Anna?
It's a bit unclear. I thought about rook e2. Is it playable, or it's just that black takes on e8 and knight f8? And maybe you just lose a tempo.
Or also
on this
bishop somewhere, bishop h4 or something, no? David, how there we can see on our screens. I don't think he's played any moves. No, he's played a move now. Looks like f5, Anna. f7, f5. Well, he has to keep going. I mean, always a chance, isn't there? Always the possibility that white will somehow not find a way through.
Maybe even f4.
Right.
And then bishop b4, bishop a5.
f4 and then bring the bishop round. Bishop presumably has to stay defending that d4 pawn. Let's try bishop f6 or bishop g7.
Alireza took his jacket off.
Right.
What does it mean?
There he is. Just 18 years old, I think. And well, he's very close to winning this game, and then he'll be half a point ahead.
A very important game for Alireza.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, also for David, but Alireza is really close to win this one. So if he wins, he of course has excellent chances to get one of the
That's right.
one of two spots for the Candidates tournament.
Okay. We maybe, Anna, we should take a little break, just a short one, and we will, of course, be right back to pick up the action on the top board game and the other games, such as Alexei Shirov's and Andrei Sepenko and so on. The other games still going on here, live in Riga, Latvia. So we'll see you very, very soon.
Welcome, welcome everyone. This is the Speed Chess Championship finals going down here with Carlsen and Nakamura. The bullet portion comes to an end. Hikaru Nakamura is mathematically eliminated in his chances, and the bottom line is Magnus Carlsen shows why he is the Magnus Carlsen. It has been Hikaru's Speed Chess Championship this 2018, and Wesley So had an amazing event this year as well, and we were tied heading into bullet before Hikaru Nakamura separated himself in the final portion.
He blunders his rook, and it's just, things are just not going well for Wesley.
They traded back and forth, landing heavy blows, but ultimately the heavyweight matchup is going to go toward Hikaru Nakamura's favor. Hikaru will be winning his third in a row.
Extremely impressive display. Once he actually faced a deficit, he has looked like the best Hikaru we've seen.
And welcome back everyone here, the live broadcast from Riga, Latvia. It's round 10. Penultimate round in both events. There are still some games in progress, and of course two boards still in progress. So we will definitely first check this game.
So that's right, and there we see on camera Alireza Firusha, and he's just played bishop f4, Anna, looks like, which we kind of discussed.
We
Has
kind
he
of
or not?
discussed f4. We had the idea of bishop f4 a couple of moves ago, but he decided to play it after f5 was played. Maybe it's just like many moves are winning this position.
I would expect
White
so.
is a pawn up, and also black has many other weaknesses, like all these pawns. Even now f5 pawn can be considered to be weak.
Yes.
So very difficult situation for David Howell. We don't actually believe he will manage to save this game, but it was a crazy game before.
I mean, for example, Anna, if David were to play king to f6, maybe king d2, and then if bishop b3, bishop e8, something like that.
It could be.
Black is sort of stretched on both sides of the board. Which pawn does he defend? I mean, if bishop b3,
Or starting with bishop e8. And
right. Even bishop g5 check could also happen, couldn't it? We really don't see any way out of this for black.
too many good moves for white.
Right.
Possible.
And weak pawns on both sides of the board. And in the middle as well. So I don't think there's much that David can do. Let's see.
David is about to make the move.
Right, he hasn't played king f6 yet.
Yeah, this is the current position.
But white in full control here. Bishop has
to
gone back.
g7.
Bishop g7. And, well.
There's a little trick.
I
right?
know, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, exactly. I
If
saw it as
white
well.
takes the risk.
Check, discovered check. That's right. So one way that white should not play.
But bishop d6 and bishop c5 should be good enough. Or bishop c7.
Also
Bishops.
king d2, Anna, also looks quite good, because what does David do with his bishop if king d2? And then bishop e8 check.
King d2 here. Yeah.
Bishop has to really stay on the a4 pawn. Bishop b3, sorry, and then bishop e8 check. Picks up a pawn, the second pawn. Really many options here for white. And of course he has plenty of time on the clock.
What about Alexei Shirov's game?
Right, let's have a look.
Nothing happened there.
No
Bishop
moves
c8
there.
was
Bishop
the last
c8, the
move,
last
and
move from Yang Yi.
Alexei is still thinking. Alexei is down to 14 minutes. King d2 played.
He's played king d2, right.
So if bishop f5, he wants to play what queen to c1.
I guess so. But really looks like positions on the verge of defeat.
Queen.
Somewhere.
I don't know, but if I promote, does it win? I mean, bishop e1, bishop g4.
Perhaps.
Check. Okay, this is a checkmate.
That is a checkmate.
And this one is also close to a checkmate. I don't know, queen d4 and bishop g4, or bishop g4 immediately.
Right. Queen d4, bishop g4, king runs to f1.
Yeah, very
All kind of
close.
things, yeah, yes.
After bishop g4,
What
what's
does
the
white
move?
play after bishop g4? In fact, any move at all? Seems to
How-
win, doesn't it?
I don't see how to stop queen e2. But maybe there is something forced with queen d4, king e2. This,
Yeah.
queen e4,
But I think your move just won, didn't it? Bishop g4
bishop g4.
straight away. Nice line. White has to move his queen, and then queen e2 check picks up the... Well, it's still mate or just completely lost.
Okay, so that basically means that after bishop f5, queen c1 is not possible, queen b1, is it better or is it the same? Maybe it's the same, yeah?
Queen takes. It's quite instructive, actually, and just giving up the pass pawn in order to force a winning attack with just on the light squares. Nice.
Okay, last try, queen a.
What about bishop f5, queen takes e2, Anna? What about queen takes e2? How bad
Yeah,
is that?
this one. This one is, of course, the move that white should play. This one.
Because he may have a check on e7.
I thought about queen c1 first, queen d1, then queen c3.
Right. Queen d2.
Or starting with queen just a second.
Still.
So maybe queen c3 first.
Okay, check.
So if queen d2 I take and there is no check on d7.
Right. Queen d2, queen takes b3 simply, yes.
Yeah, and okay, king f1, bishop d3. If king d1, it comes with a check.
Check, so alright, so black is
Take this.
almost certainly winning this.
Bishop
He's played bishop g4. He didn't play bishop f5, that's interesting. We were looking at bishop f5. He's played bishop g4. Maybe he missed this idea of queening, sacrificing the pawn Anna with e1, queen, and then the lines we just looked at.
Okay, he wants queen d5 and queen d1.
And then bishop f5. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Alexei's day, is it, today?
Well, let's fight. Let's go here. Still evil. Or no, I can take now.
To block on d4, right? If queen d5 check, you
Yeah.
can block on d4. Okay.
But there is, of course, queen g2 and h3.
h3 was played.
And if...
Played quite fast, actually, by Alexei.
yeah, but it's a very logical move if we want to win this pawn.
Yeah. Maybe bishop f5 is the right move now. To go back.
But then we don't have the idea with e1 and bishop g4 anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Anything happening on David's game? Yes, a couple of moves, I think, Anna, on the top board game.
What's happening there? A bishop g7?
Right. What did Ali Reza play?
I don't know.
Oh, nothing yet. They're still here.
Oh, okay, now I got the moves. Bishop d6, bishop f6, check, king h6.
And white to play here.
Bishop c5.
Sure. Bishop c5. Or maybe f4 and bishop e5.
But he didn't want to play e4, f4. He wants to refrain from f4, playing f4.
It's what is Black's next move, in fact. It's almost some kind of Zugzwang. What's Black going to play? Move his bishop back to g7. So lots of tempting moves here for white.
Check and bishop and king d2, your idea.
Right, check on f4.
Mm-hmm.
For example, yeah, king back and then king d2. That's right. Or start with king d2. Just wins the second pawn.
Okay, it's like everything wins.
Yeah, either the h5 pawn drops or the a4 pawn drops. Surely a completely won position here for Ali Reza, which will move him up to 7.5 out of 10. Well, a strong recovery after yesterday's loss.
And after today's queen c6.
And after queen c6, which very nearly and could have turned the game around.
Okay, Andrei Sipenko is... somehow he won another pawn. So he's completely winning.
Yes. Okay, this will...
And Alexei Shirov, h3.
h3 was played. Anything yet? No reply yet. Looks like Yang Yi, they're about to play a move.
Queen to d5.
Queen d5 check. King e3. Black to play.
There is a possibility of check on f3, but I don't know how dangerous it is.
Right.
What else?
Maybe he's seen a forced line here, I don't know. You could check on c5, Anna, but then just king d2, I suppose.
Yeah. Queen c3, king.
King c1, yeah.
Okay, we don't have other moves.
And then queen a1 to d1, queen a1 check,
So we got
queen
the
d1 check. Yeah, and what has Black achieved? Not so much. Not so much.
Oh, let's go a few
All right,
moves back.
so h2 was a good move.
Maybe it was the only move.
Hmm.
If he tried to keep the bishop there and play bishop to f3,
Right. Maybe then the king comes back to c1.
maybe queen a1.
He's checked on e6, queen e6 check. King will come back.
And bishop f3 here.
Right.
Now queen a1 will take on h3.
Yes. Okay. King d2. All right, and now we think bishop f3. Yeah. It should be a technical win for black, this position. Although he's nothing up, black is no material up, but really dominating position. We expect bishop f3 here. He hasn't played it yet, has he?
No, not yet. Okay, let's try to sacrifice that pawn. Queen a1.
Queen a1.
Queen h3. Because we have to activate the queen. We can't play with the queen on e1. And queen to d4. When black queen comes to f1 or h1, I will play bishop e1, and
sure.
my idea is to play queen a7.
Right. What about after queen a1 if... Oh, I see, so queen a1 was to block on d4.
Mm-hmm.
If check on the d line. No, maybe still a half chance here for Alexei to save the game. Looks like bishop c5 has been played by Firusha.
Okay, bishop c5.
And do you think we can expect David to resign soon? He's played f4.
f4.
Any half chances for David to save this game?
Bishop takes d4.
That's right, bishop takes d4. So that's now 2 pawns up for white. Black can
So
exchange.
I take g3, yeah.
That's right. To take on g3, but then what? Maybe he'll swap on g3 and then just move the bishop away, bishop d8, and just play on a little bit more.
And then finally this king d2
And then
idea.
king d2 will come, that's going to be another pawn.
And then, yeah, 3
Another
pawns
pawn
up.
going, that's right. That's going to be too much. It's going to be too much. Yeah, well, David putting a brave face on it, really, but no way back, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look.
So Alexei Shirov doing his best to save a very difficult and awkward position. To keep his chances alive, let's say.
Okay, a few rounds ago he saved a very suspicious position against Alireza Firuza, also with when he played with white pieces. So maybe he will also save this one. I like bishop f5 more than bishop g4. Now I don't see like some clear win. Maybe I missed something after bishop f5.
I liked your idea before, sacrificing the e-pawn and playing for mate. Was very effective. But now it maybe doesn't quite work. Meanwhile, David, they're perhaps about to resign. I mean, we don't know. Any other games on the lower boards, Anna, that we haven't
All
kept up
games
with.
have been finished in the women's tournament.
Bishop d8, it looks like, from David. So he didn't take on g3.
And yeah, the top board results in the women's section. Late in Gia, draw against my sister. Harika Dranwale draw against Elizabeth Pets. So late in Gia, the winner of this event.
Yes, with 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Absolutely out of this world, that result.
Yeah, also Zuzana scoring an important victory for her because now she's on clear second place,
So
but also she got a GM norm
right.
after this game. So congratulations to Zuzana as well. Zuzana will face late in Gia tomorrow in the last round of Women's Grand Swiss.
And Daisy Corrie there with another win against Nana. So a great result for
Right.
her.
Daisy
Most-
Corrie and
Up to 6.5.
Bibi Sara Sobaiva.
Yes.
Another GM norm and
Another GM
win
norm.
for Bibi Sara.
Okay, and Elizabeth Pets there also on 6.5 points. And those are the results so far in the open section. Still 3 games going on the top 10 boards. And we think Andrei Yesipenko should be winning, and also Alireza for sure is winning. And Alexei Shirov has a big battle on his hands to try and save that game. King d2 there we see from Alireza, and it's just really hopeless for David here, I'm afraid. He needs to keep defending the a4 pawn. So let's say bishop b3.
Yeah, the only reasonable move now. Bishop e5.
Bishop b5, for example. That's right. And nothing much really the black can do. He can take on g3, but then white recaptures. And bishop f4 check is the next move, and then the h5 pawn also drops. No counterplay whatsoever for black. And nothing to do. Bishop b3 there. Probably bishop e5. Yeah, well. Big favorite to get one of those 2 candidates spots, isn't he, Alireza?
Yes,
No,
Alireza will
after
be
today.
sole leader. Yeah.
Sole leader, that's right, on 7.5 points out of 10, assuming he wins this.
Then we have Fabiana Caruana and Grigory Oparin with 7 out of 10. And Yuyan Gie, yeah, if he wins,
If he wins, also gets
another
to 7.
player on 7 out of 10.
So there could be
Alireza
3
plays up.
players, could be 3 on 7. Bishop e5
Right,
there,
bishop
as we
e5.
expected. Black could give a check on a5 if he wants. Bishop a5 check. He's taken on g3. We assume f pawn will take, f2 takes. And then white threatens bishop f4 check, and the h5 pawn will fall. And really black cannot do anything about that.
It's even difficult to come up with some lines. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but he can check on a5 next move maybe. F takes g3. Of course, keeps his pawns there protecting each other. The g pawn protects the h4 pawn. Bishop a5 check, right. Trying to get his bishop back to d1 maybe, to try and hang on to this h5 pawn. But just king e2, Anna, yeah? King e2 now?
I think any move with a king
Any
wins.
move, yeah. King c1.
So there are no checks.
No more checks and prevents the bishop coming to d1. And next move, white will play bishop f4 check. King will have to retreat, and the bishop on e8 will take on h5, and that then becomes 3 extra pawns for white. And really and truly, there's nothing much left for black here. Good game from both players, and really just that dramatic moment with queen c6 in the run-up to the first time control, which surely Alireza missed. He must have missed that move. So we're expecting David to resign, I think, here. Or will he play a move?
He's still thinking.
Yeah. Well, he has time to think on his clock at least.
Let's quickly check Alexei's game. So it was queen d5, king to e3, and bishop f5 now.
Right. So kind of like the lines we were looking at before, but white has the extra move with h2, h3. Any chances for Alexei?
Yeah, it's not hopeless. Definitely more chances than in David's game.
Let's try queen takes e2, for example, Anna. What would happen?
Okay, queen takes, then check,
King has to come back, check.
check,
King has to come back.
and likely queen to c3.
Right, which, yes.
Say
It's like the
here.
line we had before, isn't it?
But with
and
the
then
pawn
take.
on h2.
Yes. And such a position, any chances to save? Yeah, maybe. Maybe some chances to hold this. G4 maybe. That's not over.
Bishop d3. Then some bishop d4.
Bishop d4, g5. Right.
No, it doesn't look so hopeless.
No.
Is there anything better? Bishop f5, this is the current position.
Right, okay.
We discussed queen to e2. King to e2 doesn't look good, yeah? Bishop c2.
If king takes, bishop takes, yeah. Threatens mate in 1, queen d3. Okay. Well, also possible.
Maybe queen e6. And then to take
Queen
this
e3.
pawn. Queen e3, okay, this I missed.
David, and then with the handshake on
Okay.
board 1, Anna there. So David Howell has resigned that game. It's a win to Alireza. And he moves once again to the top of this event. Clear leader, 7.5 out of 10. And continues his great run of form. A quick discussion there.
It's interesting which moment they are discussing, and
I wonder.
yeah, David, it's like he completely missed some idea.
Yeah, they're both sort of smiling there. Maybe we'll have an interview, Anna, with Alireza. That would be very nice. To hear his thoughts on the game. And sadly for David,
Yeah, Yeah, he
After-
lost, I think.
after
he-
4
yeah.
consecutive wins and suddenly found himself in a tie for first place on top board with chances to fight for one of those 2 candidate spots.
Yeah, but after this defeat, I think he has no
That's
absolutely
it,
no
yeah.
chances. Yeah, that's
So
Oh.
hard luck to David, and well done for putting up a big fight.
still a great tournament even after this defeat. I
That's
think
right.
his performance is definitely higher than his rating. But after getting so close, of course, you want to fight for more.
Of course. Yeah, so inevitably there'll be a disappointment there. And especially with that chance with after Queen C6, which he found, maybe had he not played Bishop B8, but the other lines that we were looking at, his position was at least equal, maybe even some advantage, possibly, we're not sure. But there we are, local time, 7:25 p.m. And most of the games have finished, but some are still going on.
So maybe let's check Alexei's game and let's see if we can have an interview with Alireza Firouzja and what he will say about this moment when he played knight h6 and how he felt after queen c6.
That's right. It'd be nice to hear that. So Alexei Shirov, can he save this game?
This is also a very important game.
Of course it is, definitely, for the pairings, for the top pairings, and for these 2 players. Absolutely. If Yu Yangyi could win, he gets into a tie for 2nd place.
So of course Alexei can't win this one, but for Yu Yangyi it's a really important game. Because if he wins this one, he's in tie for 2nd, and
Right.
he gets white tomorrow, very likely.
Yes.
So his chances are actually increasing a lot.
That's right, a huge game for him tomorrow. King takes e2 has been played by Alexei, so he's at least eliminated this terrifying pawn on e2. Of course, he's going to lose c2. Check has happened.
Now
He
bishop
can't pick king
e3.
f1 because of bishop takes h3 and then mate.
Yeah, so well, bishop e3 the only move, and bishop e3 played.
Okay. Milan, I believe we have an interview, so over to you.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. We have Alireza Firouzja with us, who just won a very game against David Howell and is again alone in first place, leading the tournament. Let's start from the game. In the beginning, it seemed you spent more time in the opening than David Howell, which usually isn't the case with David. What went wrong for you? Why was that?
Yeah, he chose the very solid opening. Obviously, it was played a lot in this Champions Tour, and he was commentating all the games. So, but yeah, it is a very solid opening. I was just choosing whether to go very sharp or just the way I play, very solid and wait for my chances. So this was the reason.
After you created that chance with knight at h6 and you entered a better position, you hastily played queen f3, to which Howell responded with queen c6.
I am.
Did you not see that?
No, of course I missed this queen c6, and it was just a shock to me because normally it's very awkward. This very weird. This setup of mating in the background when your pawn on h3, but okay, bishop is on g3, so it was a shock, but I was lucky. I had this bishop c2 and I was keeping the game going at least. I was not suddenly losing. So
After that queen f3 and queen c6, there was a visible change in your mood and your appearance, your face, and you then started walking down the hall. How do you were clearly annoyed. How did you calm yourself after that?
I was lucky because he saw when I made the next move, he suddenly played the wrong move, I think, and I managed to calm myself down. But when I saw I had this bishop c2 and I am at least keeping the game going, and I'm not losing right away, I was a little happy. That's why I was not so annoyed.
And during the rounds, we saw you pacing down the playing hall up and down and looking at other games. When you're pacing through the hallway, do you think of your own game only, or do you actually look at other games, analyze, think about them as well, or think about something else?
No, of course it's interesting. The games are going. All of them are very good quality, so it's always interesting to follow. But yeah, normally the game itself is very difficult, and you should always focus on your game. So.
Okay, and finally, like again, with 7.5 out of 10, you're alone in the lead. How confident do you feel that you will reach the candidates?
I am. I think my chances got very low after yesterday's loss, but I'm happy I managed to get the win today against David because he played very good until here. He had 4 wins in a row, so he was in a very good mood. So this win was important, but okay, in general, I think I have good chances tomorrow, and we will see.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Milan, there for that interview, and Alireza Firouzja there, as we've just seen, beating David Howell. He says, as we sort of figured, that he did miss Queen C6, but he found the only move, really, Bishop C2. Afterwards, he was, in a way, fortunate, let's say, that he the position was still playable and unclear, and it was interesting to hear his thoughts on that, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Anna, we've still got this very important game here, Alexei Shov trying to save this endgame against Yu Yang, but we're going to have a quick break, and then we'll be right back to see if Alexei can indeed save this game, and let's see. We'll see you all very, very soon.
And welcome back, everyone. It's live broadcast from Riga, Latvia, round 10. Most of the games have been finished, but there is still one game in progress on one of the top boards. It's actually board number 4 between Alexei Shirov and Yu Yangyi. Also, very important game for the standings and for tomorrow's round and for the candidates tickets.
That's right. So their confirmation of Alirez's victory with white today over David Howe. That keeps him or puts him out in front by half a point. 7.5 out of 10, and we just had an interesting interview with him. And that game had a very dramatic moment, didn't it, where David played that move, Queen C6. So Alexei Shirov against Yu Yangyi is the only game in the top 10 still in progress. And those, Anna, are the top women's results.
Yeah, all the games in the women's section have been finished. So here we see the top board's result. Late in year made a draw against my sister, Harka Dornoval, Elizabeth Betts, another draw. Zhuzhina, a very important win against Lela Javakishvili. So Late in year is already the winner of the tournament. Congratulations to Late in year. But Zhuzhina, also fantastic result, being on clear second after today's round. And Jim Norm.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so here we see Alexei there, of course, with white against Yu Yangyi. Now, Anna, let's have a look at the latest moves. Just talk us through what happened.
So Queen D2, Queen B3, G4 has been played.
Right.
This looks like a better version for a white comparing to what we discussed
Absolutely.
earlier, no?
I think Alexei might save this game, you know.
Bishop E6, Queen to D6. Finally this queen
Right.
is active again.
And suddenly white has real chances of counterplay with moves like G5, Bishop D4 and so on.
Queen E7 check.
Queen E7 check, of course, yep. So,
Even Bishop C5, Queen F8 idea.
right. That's true. Bishop C5 and Queen F8 would, in fact, be checkmate, yeah. So suddenly, from such a passive and unpleasant, uncomfortable position that Alexei had, now, I mean, sure, he's a pawn down, but he's got active play at last. Queen D6, the last move played. And Anna, which move are they on?
Move number 53.
53.
So there are 7 moves
From the next time
second
control at move 60, and clock time something like 9.5 minutes for Yu Yangyi and 6.5 minutes for Alexei. But suddenly the black victory is by no means certain, is it, Anna?
It doesn't look easy. I mean, with the pawn on E2, it felt like black should win somehow, but after this pawn is gone, it's not clear anymore.
Absolutely not, no. And I think Alexei is going to save this, really. I really do. H3 was a nice move that he played, wasn't it? Some time ago now. And maybe your move Bishop F5 was the key, rather than Bishop G4 at that moment when Yu Yangyi played Bishop G4.
You couldn't find defense after Bishop F5. So maybe black was winning earlier, but white had a really pleasant position in the beginning of the game and in the middle game. So maybe
it was a big fight, wasn't it? A big struggle this game.
Yeah, big fight. All this came from a very interesting opening, starting with Sicilian, second move knight C3, D6, D4.
And Queen takes it, and then knight D1 to E3 was a nice maneuver, I remember.
And H4.
And A4 followed by long castles. Yeah.
So I believe that in the beginning Alexei was disappointed that he lost his advantage, but then in the end he may be happy that he
absolutely. Well,
if he saved this game,
he'll be delighted with a draw from this game, given the position he had even just 10 moves ago. So there we are, Yu Yangyi to play.
It's actually quite difficult even to suggest some move for black.
What is he going to play, I wonder? So he would have got to 7 points, Yu Yangyi, if he'd won this game. or Alexei, of course.
Yeah, if he won that game, or if Alexei won that game, they could. They still had very good chances to qualify to the candidates
That's
if
right.
things go also well tomorrow. But if this game ends in a draw, then of course their chances decrease a lot.
I mean, and on 7 points we have Fabiano on 7 points, Alireza on 7.5, Fabiano on 7, also Oparin on 7 points. A surprise to see him so high up, but he's having a really fantastic event and beating Nikita Vityugov today with the black pieces. And anyone else on 7, Anna? It's just those two?
Only those two,
Just
because
those two.
the other games ended in a draw.
So presumably Oparin will go up to play
Firouzja
Firouzja.
with white pieces. And he's kind of in a must-win situation. Because with the draw, I think his tie breaks are not that great.
Right. Right. Interesting. And who, I wonder, would Fabiano play? We don't know, do we? So Yu Yang has played, I think, Queen C4 check. It looks like, indeed.
Fabiano will play against someone with 6.5 points.
Quite a few players on, I think 6.5.
Yes, David Howell, Maxim,
Yeah.
Anton Guiharo, Predke, Sargsyan, Sam, Savian.
A lot of people on 6.5.
And also many people who won today with 5.5 points.
Right. Possibly Alexander Predke, I don't think has played Fabiano yet. That might be the pairing. But this game's still in progress anyway, so obviously Yang Yi trying to win. There ought to be winning chances, let's say. Let's see what Alexei plays. But certainly Black's advantage seems to have evaporated, Anna, from what it was with that pawn on e2. King f2, is it? King f2.
King f2 looks normal.
Sure. King f2, why not?
Maybe we can check very quickly what's happening on the other boards, and we can keep the camera on this board. Yeah. So which other games are still in progress? This one, we have seen many moves ago, but not so many things
Nils
changed.
Carondellos. And this really ought to finish in a draw, this game, we think.
Yeah, it seems like White is trying to play for a win, but not easy.
Okay.
This is the game we didn't see.
Wow, look at that.
We didn't see at all earlier. So it's between Robert Hovhannisyan and Jorge Kori.
Whose sister is playing in the women's event and doing so well.
So maybe another draw here.
Right, it looks pretty level, doesn't it? Yeah, a draw looks likely there. All right, any other games?
Sindarov against Donchenko. So the question is if there is perpetual check.
Right, clearly Black trying to draw.
Maybe Queen A5.
Yes, I
Then
think so.
just keep on checking. Actually, they're having many checks before the players got there.
Right,
So this is the position.
looks quite likely to end in a draw then, let's say.
But after Queen A5, King B2 is the only move. Okay, not the only, maybe King B3, Queen B5, and now Queen to A2. But then Queen E2, and it's more or less the same position.
Right, many checks here, and the rooks can't really block. Okay, good chances to draw then for Donchenko.
Nguyen against Pichot. What about the pawn endgame? Because it's the only chance. Takes,
Yeah,
takes.
this C pawn otherwise is going through.
F3.
F3 followed by G4, that's nice. Yeah, F3. And if pawn takes pawn, then G4. And white makes it past H pawn.
Yeah, this is winning.
And this wins, doesn't it? Yeah.
But if king E6 takes there. King
Well,
F2, yeah?
This one we don't know about.
I'm close to winning.
Sure.
Okay, next game.
So plenty of games still going on, Anna. Yeah.
Greterson against Kovalyov.
Wow, look at all those 3 pawns for the piece.
White is playing for the win.
Right, C4, C5, the last move. We have
Some updates.
something on the Alexei Shirov game. A move or two has been played. Queen A2 check. And what's the idea of king G3, bishop
D5.
bishop
maybe.
D5? Is that even possible?
But it's not a checkmate after queen G2.
Right.
So if bishop
Alexei
D5,
will
we
start
can
to play for
simply-
win at some point, you know. Sure.
We play queen
Why
E7.
not? Stranger things have happened.
Alexei with the pen in his hands.
Yes, which we've seen him do before.
Quite an unusual habit.
I really don't think he's going to lose this game.
In Alexei we trust.
Sure. And yeah, so why not king G3 here? It looks fine. King G3. Because if bishop D5, white can check,
Yeah, bishop D5, just check.
and black has to bring his bishop back. So there's no danger
Even
really for
bishop
Alexei.
D4
Yeah, no, it can turn.
or bishop C5. I think bishop D4, if check, we go here. And there is no checkmate.
He's played king
King
G3.
G3.
No, that's what I'm saying, that the game could. I mean, I don't think it will, but it is. One can start to see lines which win for white. King G3.
Maybe queen.
Let's see what black has played. Has he played a move?
Queen D5, maybe. Ah, queen D5
Bishop
was
F7
played.
was
yeah.
played.
Queen A8, bishop F7. Now bishop C5, yeah.
Indeed. What's wrong with bishop C5 here? I suppose black has G5. No, he doesn't have G5.
Oh, he played G5, yeah, another move that is also very logical. But bishop C5.
Maybe H6.
Yeah, H6. So G5 played.
He's played G5, right? And which move number is this, Anna?
57.
57. Still 3 or 4 moves to go. Black has 4 moves to play here. What should he play? Queen E6 or something like that? Maybe just time to make a draw for black. I think.
You mean time to have dinner?
Well, it can still go wrong, can't it? But he will be disappointed, Yang Yi, not to win this game, assuming this does end in a draw.
Yeah, in the end, he will be disappointed. But looking at how the game developed, and in the beginning, I think he was not so happy about his position.
There's Alexei, of course. He was the last player, wasn't he, Anna, to enter or to be included in the tournament, let's say. Alexei Shirov. And he's had a brilliant event.
I think he was, he was offered the place, then he didn't want because of all these lockdown rules.
Right, okay.
And then somehow in the very end, he decided to play. And he has a great event.
Yeah. So Yang Yi then down to about 2 minutes 20 or so. He still has 4 moves to make. I think he just should steer this game to a draw somehow.
Chinese players are usually fighting till the very end.
Right. But
they are ready to play any position, like 7 hours, 8 hours, doesn't matter.
so what can you do here? I mean, I don't see any winning chances left.
Okay, after queen e6.
Well, sure. I mean, he can play a move like that.
We may take with the pawn and then queen d7
And
play for a
play for a win, no? And with bishop d4, that's right. Well, Alexei may do that. Or queen a7 or something like that.
There is still queen c3, so it's not that
Right.
dangerous.
He's played queen e6, look.
Queen e6
He
played.
has played queen e6, Yang Yi. Well, as we said, he needs to just make sure he doesn't lose.
So if white takes and then bishop to d4,
Right.
takes, then
King moves. Is that a dead draw or not?
okay, white doesn't need to go there.
Or still some winning chances for black?
Yeah, now it's unclear because the king can penetrate and then.
Queen e6. Maybe Alexei will play one of these other moves that we're talking about, not to swap the queens.
Okay, if we want to go to the opposite colored bishop's endgame, maybe this one, yeah, and after b3 we take.
Oh, because the king's on f6.
Yeah, but
Right.
okay, I mean, still black has chances here with king f5. So there is absolutely no need to trade the queens.
He's taken on f6, check.
Okay, but I think he will keep the queens on the board.
Right. Queen takes f6. And the big choice for moves maybe queen e4. Centralize.
Queen d7 also.
He's moved his queen away somewhere. Queen c5.
Queen c5, okay.
Right, well, threatening bishop d4, of course. And a bit of time pressure here for black, and they're on move, Anna, move 58, was that?
59. I don't think it's like a big time pressure. Yeah, still 1 minute and a half for 2 moves.
I mean, queen c3 is an immediate draw if white just swaps queens and plays bishop d4 check,
Yeah.
which may happen. I think that's there's a fair chance of that is what's going to happen. Queen
And
c3,
if queen f5?
bishop d4 check, what happens? And then run the king to h5.
Yes.
Okay. And then either queen f8 check or queen e7.
What did he play?
I'm not sure what he's played.
Queen f5. Okay.
Queen f5. Okay. Is that the move you said? Well, white could trade and play bishop b6, couldn't he?
Yeah, but then again the same.
He's traded. He's done that. And bishop b6
If this, this.
takes, and I think we can call this a draw.
And if we start running with the king, but okay, of course, in the previous line, the king was not that close. So just, well, this, king to f3.
And white's in time. White gets to d2. Or, well, this is...
Even without the a4 pawn, it would still be a draw.
right.
Bishop b6, this was played.
He's played this right. So, a big save from Alexei. From what must have been a lost position. But probably these two players, without chances, Anna, for that candidate spot. I don't know, unless some very, well, maybe, depending on tie breaks and so on. This has all happened.
Maybe for Alexei, somehow.
He
Yeah,
probably
if
has a good tie break.
if he wins tomorrow and
If the other results go his way,
if
he may still have a chance.
because he may have a good tiebreak. Yeah,
Yes,
he,
I think
he
so.
always played on the top.
So we really, I think this game will end in not many moves. King e6.
Bishop c3.
And white will bring his king to e3. And draw. So tomorrow's pairings, Anna, that'll be interesting to see see how they turn out. But it looks like Oparin will be playing against Ali Reza, correct?
And it's completely unclear who will play against Fabiano.
Right.
You know, it may be funny because whoever gets Fabiano, it will be both, you know, pleasant and unpleasant. Unpleasant because facing Caruana with black pieces maybe not the best thing,
Sure.
not like your dream. But on the other hand, it's the only chance to beat Fabiano and then to fight for these candidate spots.
That's right, yeah. So, you know, last rounds, of course, everyone knows the last round of tournaments. Strange things happen sometimes, and results go completely the way you'd least expect. So much pressure on the players. It's a kind of an all-or-nothing situation. Especially here, not just the prize money, but as we keep saying, 2 candidate spots at stake. So, a very unusual situation.
By the way, they're also fighting for the Grand Prix spots. I don't know how many players are qualified to the Grand Prix, but it's definitely more than 2. So they are not only fighting for the candidate spot, but
Right.
also for the Grand Prix spots.
Have they reached move 60? Not yet, Anna.
Yeah, they did.
have. Sorry.
It's now the 63.
Alexei to play here. Any chances for black, Anna, or is it just a dead draw?
No chances, I believe.
Really, this should be finishing very, very soon, under half points each. A big fight, of course. And certainly Alexei, I think, will be relieved to have held this game.
I think draw was the least expected result in
Right.
this one. Both players played for a win.
Yeah. So
Both players had chances.
here, just to recap, just before we go, Anna, the results there. Those are the top 10 boards of the women's event, and Lei Tingji, 8.5 points out of 10. Fantastic chess and brilliant performance from her, and she's already won this event with a round to go. And important wins for Zhu Jiner, who makes a GM norm, and Daisy Corey also there. And Bibisara also making a GM norm by beating Polina Shuvalova today. So excellent result for her. And tomorrow, Anna, that's the schedule.
Yes, so I think we are ending this stream for today, but tomorrow we'll be back at the same time, 2 p.m. local time or 1 p.m. Central European time. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for your questions, thanks to our production team for
Our amazing production team.
Amazing production team for helping us with this show. So see you tomorrow, and the last round. Tomorrow everything will be decided there.
Want to play chess online or learn how to improve? Join us at the #1 chess destination in the world, Chess.com. With hundreds of thousands of people playing at any moment, you'll quickly find a game with someone at your level, whether you're a total beginner or a grandmaster. You can play games at any pace against friends, other members, or one of our many computer personalities. Chess.com makes improving fun and easy. Sharpen your game with tactics puzzles and enhance your strategy with our videos and lessons by top masters. Learn from your own games with Chess.com's easy-to-use analysis tool. Regardless of your skill level, Chess.com has all you need to take your game to the next level. Chess.com is your go-to source for chess news, live coverage of tournaments, events, and everything in between. Experience Chess.com anytime and anywhere, whether you're at home on your computer or on the go with our mobile apps. Signing up is free and easy, so what are you waiting for? Join Chess.com today.